don't even know how I'm gonna start. I had people tell me it was really cringe when I said it in Japanese.
I thought that was cool when you did that. I liked it too.
I thought it was funny. I liked it.
Hey, how about they try to say something in Japanese and record it and put it on the internet?
Actually, it's funny enough. Alex was like, "Yeah, dude, my whole back like creased up." I was like, "Oh, okay." I actually laughed. That was funny.
I liked it.
Don't listen to them, Hector. They're a bunch of haters.
No, I'm not mad or anything. I just thought it was
good.
funny. I was just like, yeah, no, because I also was like cringing at the same time. Also, I didn't know you kept the like playback of the Google saying it.
I thought that was a great ad. I'm like, that's so cool that they included that. I like that.
I didn't know that, but yeah, because I let Rafa just have freedom of the intro or how he starts it. So I thought that was cool. I didn't know you were gonna add that in, but I thought that was cool.
I thought it was a nice touch. Good job, Rafa.
Thank you. It just worked. You know, I felt like it was kind of just janky to just kind of jump in. It's really nice, kind of showing you kind of prepping for it. Like it was a nice touch to it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, that's gonna be the opening banner. Might as well get right into it.
Wow.
Look at that, smooth. Except probably shouldn't have called it out. Anyways, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the brand new episode of the Bento Boxcast. This is officially episode 3 of season 2. Hello. We are absolutely the most animeist podcast of all the internet, and we're here coming at you on whatever audio platform you may so choose. We got you covered on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or any other platform associated with Anchor.com. But of course, as always, you'll find us here at our home base, at our mainstay, at our clubroom, youtube.com. Just look us up at Bento Boxcast, and you'll see our iconic logo and our channel. Make sure to click the follow, subscribe, share, like, all that stuff, all that good stuff. In every episode, you, the viewers, have a chance to add some topics, suggest some talking points, and anything else you want us to discuss. Not only that, the best way to have that happen is if you tweeted us at the Bento Boxcast. Or you could also tweet at our personal Twitters, which will be in the description down below. You could also find down below our Discord, and the link to everything I just mentioned and more is going to be down there, so definitely check it out. Feel free to chat with us on any of those platforms and get involved in the community. So yeah. Welcome, guys. Welcome. How's everybody doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. I just woke up, so I'm ready to rock.
I couldn't tell, Rafa.
I know, dude. I was like, you guys said 8:45. I'm like, oh, shit, I got time for a nap. I want to go lay down, so.
Mondays.
Yeah, no, the gears are starting to slowly turn, so I'll be fully awake at the end of the podcast, so don't worry.
At the end of the podcast?
Yeah, at the end of the podcast, yeah.
Well, it's good because the topics progressively get better as we continue through the pod. So that's not that bad.
Right.
We need to get you some. What is that spray? E40, right? No, that's a
rapper.
I forgot that spray, that grease spray.
E40.
Wait, what spray? Wait, spray for what?
For
to like loosen or like grease up,
like for the hinges and stuff like that, like on doors, so they won't squeak.
Oh, that's what you need? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
why are we talking about this?
Hector says that I need it. I don't know why I need it.
The gears are turning. I gotta put some grease to loosen the gear. I don't know. You know what, man? Let's just focus on E40. All right. What a great
right.
guy.
Yeah. What a great artist E40 is.
Oh man. Anyways, guys. Well, Rafa, it's time to wake up because it's time to get into that news thing. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute, Hector. I completely remembered right now, so I apologize. Don't we have any comments from the last episode?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But like,
no.
They're all berating you, Rafa. So I mean, I was trying to save you.
I'm not afraid of them.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of them.
Okay, well then here we go.
Who? Alex?
And John.
And John? They're both dumb.
Well, here we go. We're gonna read these comments.
And so it starts.
And so it begins. John said, Rafa talking about JoJo to Renee is equal to a 4th grader explaining how Minecraft works to their teacher who obviously does not play video games nor cares. LMAO.
Okay, I kind of agree with that. But JoJo's like, I mean, I'm not gonna get into it. You're gonna get me going again. Talking about how much I love JoJo.
Well, I mean, whatever wakes you up, right? I mean,
I know, right? Whatever gets me going. So, next.
Then we have three. Three from Alex, which are JoJo is one of the best animes ever made. Y'all stupid, blah blah blah. That's Rafa, and then Renee says, "I'll watch the first episode if you watch Castlevania." Rafa responds, "The thing is, the first 2 seasons are horrible."
Okay, I didn't say they were horrible. It's just that the vibes are different between season 1 and 2 and season 3 and continuing on. That was my only point. Like use whatever. It's not. I didn't say that was horrible. So he's wrong. How about you open your ears, Alex, and listen to what I said?
Oh my god!
I'm starting beef now. Not in the mood. I just woke up from a nap.
And then
this is gonna be great. This is gonna be a
good
great
one.
episode.
Yeah,
so excited.
This is gonna be good. Next.
And then Alex then responds, I'm just gonna read the next 2 just back to back. He says,
Okay.
Rafa, if that makes you uncomfortable, just close your eyes and wait till it ends. At Keemstar. Okay. And then the next
Oh, it's talking about the beast star scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says, Rafa's so mad he got exposed for spending 40 hours a day in VR chat.
Again, the day only has 24 hours. You know what? We shouldn't even respond to these comments.
You know, yeah.
You're right, Hector.
Like
I apologize for bringing it up.
I was trying to skip over these.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I thought they were gonna be like, hey guys, well, I saw this cool anime. What about this cool, anime fun fact that I heard on the internet or some, interesting shit? No, they were just looking for a fight. It's all right.
With you.
With me, it's all right.
Oh.
It's all right. I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow, anyways.
Cool.
So.
Well, that being said, Rafa, I think it's time. I think it's finally time to hop right in.
Okay. For what?
Don't you make a little? You gotta do the song. Isn't there a song?
There is.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just messing with Hector.
Oh.
I was like, oh no.
I'm just messing with you, Hector.
It's already going down.
No. It's time for anime news on the anime channel, Bento Boxcast, News Network channel, with your news correspondent, Hector, and I'm assuming Renee. Not me though.
Oh god.
Take it away, Hector.
Oh, I'm literally crying.
I know.
I'm
wiping
crying.
away tears right now.
There you
Oh
go.
my goodness.
There you go.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It's gonna be this week's
It's a good episode. It's a pretty good episode.
It's already
I
starting
can already
off
tell.
Incredible.
I can already tell it's a pretty good episode.
Well, the first and foremost one I want to bring up, man, it's actually kind of crazy because we will be talking about this later on in the pod. It is Demon Slayer tops box office record with U.S. opening. Quite literally a fantastic feat. Not many anime and movies have done this, and I'm actually really happy that Demon Slayer was one of them that could actually do it. Demon Slayer has made a huge entrance in theaters in the U.S. At its, finally after all this time, it kind of came out. It did come out last fall, for Japan, and now it is finally here in summer. Is it still spring?
Spring.
Okay,
It's spring.
Spring season for us to watch. So it's been a little bit of some time that passed, but we finally get to watch it here for ourselves to check it out, and it made a domestic box office boom with a staggering $15.9 million US bonanza made. It was kind of some crazy news that it made a huge amount of money. It only came second to Mortal Kombat, which Mortal Kombat made $22.5 million, but it is still insane. It definitely broke a lot of records, and it is now Japan's highest grossing movie of all time, which is absolutely nutty because I'm pretty sure it was already doing huge numbers in Japan alone when it was coming out in theaters over there, but to be the official highest grossing movie of all time, I think is actually really, really insane. And I think it only emphasizes how much the Western audience loves anime. So to them, it should be, sounding off alarms and green lights to be like, hey, let's keep making more incredible movies and sending them to the West so that U.S. Can watch them and have it as soon as possible, because I love watching anime movies that I'm interested in, and of course was absolutely one of them. I was super excited for this one, and like I said, yeah, we'll talk about it more. But what do you guys think? 15.9 million made, the number one highest grossing movie of all time in Japan.
No, it's cool. It's cool to see that people are going out there and watching and spending their money. Because all three of us we went. Hector, I think you went on Friday or Saturday,
Yeah, Friday.
right? Friday, and then I went with Alex and Renee on Sunday. So, and our theater when we went on Sunday, it wasn't really that packed. But I know the day before, Alex was saying that on Saturday, like there was no seats available. Like it was really packed. So it seems like everybody kind of went on Saturday, and the few stragglers Thursday and on Sunday were at least the theater that we went to. But it's really cool to see that people are going out there and supporting it. Hopefully this is good signs, like you said, for more imports of like anime movies and things like that to come in this way, because we really don't get them in Dragon Ball, from Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Kai, whatever. My Hero has been here too, and now Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer has really pulled in like a lot of money, as you said. So hopefully we get something else. But I mean, also you can't. I just don't want them to be pulling in anything. It has to be
Right.
some.
Has to be worth it.
Has to be worth it. Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy. I'm happy to see. Like it just gets me more hyped for the future and see where anime goes, especially here in the West.
Yeah, and like so for me, this movie was like my second anime movie, like seeing it in theaters, and like I love that aspect of it. I think this movie was a great choice to be played in theaters. I don't think I would enjoy it as much if I watched it at home. So to see that there was a lot of people going to this movie, it was worth it. I mean, it was beautiful. But I just love the fact that I got to see this in the theaters, like on the big screen versus just our TV screens at home. And yeah, like I said, My Hero was, I think the first movie was the first anime movie I saw in theaters. So this was technically my second. And I love it. I love seeing anime movies on screen. Like it's in the theater screens, it was just, it's a better experience, I feel like, you know?
It's such a different vibe. Like going to the theater and watching it, I think it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I had one kind of hiccup when I went to go watch it. I had originally, obviously, we're gonna go watch the subtitle version. But I had seen that a lot of the show times were kind of getting booked quickly on Friday because the movie had literally just come out on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I saw this empty theater at like 3 o'clock, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like that's sick. Why is nobody purchasing these tickets for it? So then I bought 2 tickets in like the perfect seats. And then come that day, so I think I bought them on like a Wednesday. No, I bought them on Sunday of last week, and then I go and it's Friday, and I finally start to watch it, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm excited to watch this movie. I'm getting ready, and I'm like, let me just double check these. Something told me to double check these tickets, and I did, and I saw that I had purchased for dub, English dub, and I
Oh
was
no.
screaming. I was like, there's no way I'm about to go watch this movie in English dub. And I was like, no wonder there was nobody watching this movie. There was nobody in this theater. There was nobody in this theater had purchased tickets. And then I checked, and there was like maybe like 6 more people in that theater. But I'm like, I am not watching English sub, and so I found a 4:15 movie for English sub, and it was like almost packed. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just get like it was. I still found really good seats, so I bought them. And then when I got there, I saw like a decent line, and I could tell that. No, that's kind of wrong to assume. But there was a lot of them that I ended up seeing that ended up buying tickets for the movie. Just like at that time, they just kind of came in and just bought tickets. And the theater I was in was actually pretty packed, and I was really really surprised because I'm like, I did not expect. And I went to the Ford City Theater. And I was not expecting
Oh
that many
wow.
people to be there. Yeah, it was extremely surprising. Um, so I mean, yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch it in English dub, but I can see why it was so popular.
There's nothing wrong with English dub.
I
Stop the hate.
I don't want
accept
to.
it.
I don't want to start a fight. I don't want to argue.
I mean,
You like what you like. I mean, just for personal
yes.
preference, like I would rather just watch, the subtitles. Like that's just what I enjoy. But I know there's other people who would rather watch the English dub. I understand.
It all depends on the show for me. Demon Slayer, I watch it sub. So, but
Oh, thank God.
you know, don't make me switch. I'll switch just to spite
No,
you.
no, please, no, please, no.
Okay.
Actually, wait, that doesn't affect me. Do whatever you want. That being said, though, moving on, right, guys? We have another topic which is actually really cool. It is Jujutsu Kaisen manga tops 45 million copies in circulation, and for those of you that may or may not know what that means, copies have been selling and quite literally flying off the shelves. The circulation of the mangas themselves rose 530% since anime's premiere 6 months ago. So essentially what ended up happening was the manga had 8.5 million in early October of last year. And then it ended up going from 8.5 million to 20 million by January, and then from 20 million to 30 million by February. And now that we are in April, but the last time it was recorded, it said 40 million on the 31st of March. So it quite literally grew by like 530%. I was gonna say like 5 times the amount, right? 8 times 5. Yeah, okay. 5 times the amount.
Sounds like that's 500%, doesn't it?
But yeah, no, it's like it's super insane to think that like and for those of you that may or may not know, Jujutsu Kaisen is a brand new. It's a pretty relatively new manga story. It only has around like under 150 chapters. I could be wrong, but I think that's about right. Around like under 150 chapters. So it's like it's pretty insane to think that something so new just kind of boomed in popularity, almost on the levels of like My Hero and things like that, where it's just like people loved it so much that it just kind of grew exponentially, and they're like, we need to have our hands on the manga and on the chapter books and everything.
And I feel like that's happening for like a lot of anime now, like Attack on Titan. Like people are watching the shows, and then the minute like a season ends or whatnot, they want to go and buy the manga. Because like every time I finish a show, I try to look for the manga, and I can never like find them. Like it's so hard to get. It's always out of stock. And like with Jujutsu, I was trying to find it the minute the show ended because I wanted to keep reading. And yeah, I had such a hard time finding it. Everyone is just buying it.
It's just how it is. You got to get it beforehand,
or like pre-order, or like find like
Yeah.
the kind of like compendiums and stuff like that for like comics. But it's like it's really really cool to see that like I guess the creator and like the publisher, like they're getting validation that like you guys are doing something really really cool and great, and people just want to see like the continuation of the story, even if it's not on or through anime form. Which by the way, I absolutely miss the anime. It was such a good watch.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. It's really cool to see that people are willing to, or not willing, but they're going out there and buying the manga. You know, I'm not someone who buys the manga at all. I used to kind of try to collect them back in the day, but I kind of let that go myself. But it's cool to see that people are willing to go and buy them and not just go online like certain people we know and just read it online. But you support the publishers and the distributors and of course the actual writers and the how you say the profession mangakas. I could think so much.
Oh, there's a term for them?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? What is manga? What?
Yeah, so it's like manga and you just add a ka at the end. Mangaka.
That sounds weird. I don't like that.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the way that it's said either, but hey.
No, but it's cool for to support them like that. Like that's the best way to do it. Like if you really enjoy someone's work, it's actually buy their work, so they could get their cut.
Facts. Or like pay a subscription like Viz or whatever.
Right. So they could get their check. You know what I'm saying? No, it's cool to see. Like I'm pretty sure I'm never ever gonna pick up any of those manga. Ever.
You probably can't. I feel like it's so hard.
Even if I wanted to, I can't. Apparently, according
to
it.
You'll find 2 here. You'll find 7 there. Like it'll be fine.
Yeah, you just have to go hunting. You have to go out there and actually go to to Barnes and Nobles or whatever bookstore I
Barnes
left.
and Noble.
You might be able to find them like on eBay for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I'm good on that one.
No,
I'm good. I'll pass.
I remember just talking about manga when I was check collecting and stuff like that. I remember I would go to Barnes and Nobles randomly and just kind of go through their manga section, see what they have.
That's
Like, oh, they
smart.
got this, oh, they got this, oh, they got this, and just start kind of picking things out that I enjoy. But for the most part, there's one anime that I always, or one show series that I always wanted to get, but because it was such an old show, I could never find any manga in stock. I was just always just sad going into Barnes and Nobles, leaving, like, oh, I can never find the one I'm looking for, you know. But
Mhm.
like super side story. That's how I actually got into like it's not an anime, but it's got Pilgrim versus the World. That's how I got
Oh
into it.
yeah. Mhm.
That's how I got into it because I heard about the movie coming out, and I was like, oh, there's a comic book for it. I went to Barnes and Nobles and picked up I think I picked the first two, and then I just ended up falling in love with the series and the actual comic book artist himself. He does a lot of awesome work too, outside of Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, cool.
Hmm.
I think I used to do that with the Pokemon manga. Like, I'd go and like just go straight there and just read stuff. And I remember like it was usually like my mom or dad would just take us there, and like my sister or brother, they were younger, so they'd want to go look at like the kids section. And I would just run straight over to like the manga and like yeah, just like the Japanese quote unquote section, which is like kind of how they had it styled and everything. And like I would just
Mhm.
go find a chair and just sit there and just read like manga. And they're like, "Oh, it's time to go." And I'm like, "Oh man, like this was getting good." And then I just have to close it. And like I would never buy them. I just
Right.
read them. They're just freeload. Um, but yeah, I mean that's really really cool. Very very happy for Jujutsu Kaisen and the mangaka there. And now moving on to something more, I think is somber, right? That's like a bad way of saying. Like I don't remember what the terminology
More
is.
serious.
Somber definition. I need to know the definition. Sorry, dark or dull in
Serious.
color. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was right. It's more of a somber topic, um, which somewhat can pertain to our industry that we love, which is anime and the anime culture and manga culture and everything like that. Japan declares a new COVID-19 state of emergency in four prefectures, which is Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and Hyogo. And they're under declaration from April 25th to May 11th. So it's going to be quite some time that they're going to be under lockdown, under, a state of emergency. And the craziest part about that is last time we seen something like this happen, we had anime and manga and a lot of things kind of go on break or take a back seat or get pushed to another season because people had to work from home. It was a little bit different. Technology wasn't as adapted to people doing their jobs from home and things like that. So I of course I'm super. Hopefully everything is okay in Japan, and hopefully they get over this as
Mhm.
sooner than later.
Right.
And it only has to be during the 25th to May 11th. Like hopefully that's just what it has to be. But um, I mean, people also have to take into consideration that yes, we are in the spring season right now, and of course a lot of manga is coming out here and there. But besides COVID, we have been seeing mangakas and other creators of manga take breaks in between chapters here and there when they release new chapters. For example, One Piece. Like we're going on a break. I think a 2 week break or a 1 week break coming up this week. So it's like they're starting to care a little bit more about their health and care more about the story and things like that. So they are taking more frequent breaks than they used to. Um, so things are gonna get hopefully not paused, but if they do, it shouldn't be something that we're surprised about because of what's going on over there. And we got to remember that it's completely different than it is here. So just
Right.
because one place is getting better, that doesn't mean like every other place is getting better. So I just wanted to know what you guys thought. I know Rafa and me have somewhat talked about how things got kind of pushed back. For example, a lot of anime from last year was supposed to come out in the first, it was like winter of 2020, and then it got pushed back to like summer of 2020. Like a lot of things got kind of get pushed back. So is there anything that you guys have any comments to talk about this, or have anything to say on the topic, things like that?
I just first and foremost, I just want to say like hopefully people get better. Yeah, it sucks that they put that there's a chance that anime might get pushed back again, just like this past year. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have people be healthy and not have COVID, than having our latest anime season air on schedule,
Yeah.
because yeah, this COVID stuff, it's not a joke. For someone who actually experienced it, who actually had it, it's not fun. It's not a fun experience. So I'm willing to, like, I know people will complain because that's just who we are as people who want to complain about everything. But like, at the end of the day, it's like it's this is just it's just entertainment. You just do this, to enjoy yourselves, kind of like break away from the stress of life, right? It's not worth losing lives. It's not worth having people suffer. So if for whatever reason, if it gets to the point where anime gets delayed for a whole nother year, then so be it. That's just what it is. I have no complaints on that. They got to make sure they take care of themselves first, and then once everything's back to normal or some form of normalcy, then yeah, let's continue with anime. And I know they're going to be a lot more careful than we are here in the United States because the United States are a bunch of jackasses over here.
Wow.
Because I mean, come on,
No, I know. I'm just messing with you.
So I'm pretty sure they're gonna be on top of things over there because it looks like they have more sense over there when it comes to this COVID stuff. So hopefully it's not as bad as it seems.
Yeah, like, I mean, we all just got to be a little patient, right? I mean, if it's unfortunate, and of course it stings, especially when we're looking forward to something, but just given, the situation, given this pandemic. And I mean, there's just a lot of other things happening in the world. I know last season there were like a couple like natural disasters going on. I like tsunamis and such. So I know like
Right.
Attack on Titan, there were a few episodes that like got pushed back like a couple weeks later. So I just think at this point, like you just never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, safety's first, we want to make sure that everyone's okay. And we just have to be patient, not a big deal if we have to wait for certain
Right.
things to come out. It's not the end of the world. There's more serious things happening right now.
Right. And also, like, there's so much anime out there. I'm pretty sure nobody ever is caught up all the way.
Exactly.
Not even Hector. I'm pretty sure Hector's behind.
No,
with
there's
it.
definitely some shows that I could catch up on for
So
sure.
so yeah, let's say anime gets delayed for another year. Go catch up on some other shows.
Mhm.
Go
Yeah, like
watch.
Castlevania.
Oh, I was gonna say go watch K. Go watch K-On. Go do that.
Catch up on all 1,000 episodes of One Piece.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Oh,
Start.
I mean,
Yeah, you'll get through like maybe 200 by the time the COVID's gone.
Exactly. But also just kind of clarify a little bit also that the article does say that next week is Golden Week, so it's a big tradition over there in Japan. So another reason why they do kind of have this this kind of like state of emergency is so that people kind of reduce the spread or the potential spread of COVID, and just essentially having people not group up in too many places and have too many people in the same location. So for example, karaoke places and anywhere that serves alcoholic drinks are being asked to close. Certain
Wow.
establishments are being asked to close by 8 p.m. every day. There's also places where if it's larger than 1,000 square meters, they're asking them to close, and things like that, where it's like a lot of mass transportation services will end earlier on weekdays and run less on weekends. And just kind of things like that, because like Golden Week is such a huge event for them over there. So it's just like they want to make sure that everybody is being safe and socially distanced. And in kind of solidarity with it being a state of emergency and people being asked to kind of be more conscious about what they do and more safety and things like that. A few people on the staff that is for a movie called Eiga Crayon Shinchan Nazomeki and Earwig and the Witch anime films have delayed their openings, which are supposed to come out this Friday and next Thursday, respectively. The Toho Anime Cinemas chain already announced on Tuesday that it is only selling tickets on the same day and not in advance. And so things like that, it's like things are kind of getting they're becoming fewer and fewer possibilities to kind of group up as much and just kind of being safe. So that's kind of already the start of anime is kind of pushing back a little bit and kind of being kind of smart about the whole situation. So kind of like both Renee and Rafa said, just let's not freak out about it. Let's just be understanding and just hope for the best, and hopefully we can get our anime as soon as we can.
Remember when COVID was kicking up here around St. Patty's Day, and then everybody went out on St. Patty's Day?
Yep. Kind of wish we had something like that.
I like
That's
how
happening.
I like over there. They're like, hey, I know it's Golden Week, but guys, kind of chill out. Let's not do this. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna listen. And over here, they're like, hey guys, it's St. Patty's weekend. Please don't go out. And then some people that we actually know personally went out. So
Is this a personal attack? Wait, did Hector go
yes,
out?
No.
yeah, I was acting.
I did
No,
not.
it's someone we know. I don't know if I want him to mention his name,
Oh,
but
okay.
someone we know. I'm throwing shade. I'm throwing shade at them.
If I don't even know if they do, but if they watch this or listen to this pod, then hey, you know who you are.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't, but I know word's gonna get back to them. I'm talking smack.
but yeah, that is it for the news segment. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I forgot. Thank you for the news.
That was quicker than last time, so
I know.
we're happy with that.
Well, we're improving.
But we're finally here to talk about one of two main topics for this show. One I'm very, very excited about. If you guys remember about we're only at episode 3. In episode 1, we discussed spring 2021 anime and what we were excited to watch, what we were planning on watching, either as a collective or as single people. So we're just gonna kind of hop right in and just for those of you that may or may not know, we gave it all a 3-episode rule, which is we watched the first 3 episodes, then we decide if we're going to continue watching it, if we fell in love with it, and if we didn't, why we don't like it. And of course, we have the option to drop 1 or 2 animes that we did not like. So, with that being said, I guess we just hop right in.
Okay, so I kind of called it upon myself. I've only watched 2 shows.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys remember or not. Hecker, don't kill me. I had my list was about 10 long, like
Yep.
10 episodes or 10 series long. Without counting My Hero, because I guess you can count My Hero. So it's 3 shows. There's 3 shows that I'm watching right now that I actually seen all the way up to 3 episodes. So it's My Hero, which we'll talk later together, so I won't get into that just yet. There's another one called Farewell. No, I'll leave that on last. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. It's the one that I was talking about where it's like slice of life comedy where like the girl's picking on the dude. Remember, Hector, you're saying like people were saying like it's like a bully. Like
Yeah,
she was being
I
like
do
a
remember,
bully or
yeah.
whatever. Right. It's not what I expected going into the show, but it's kind of like, yeah, this is what the show's pretty much it's about here. Like it's pretty simple, I guess. It's literally just the main girl messing with the guy and making the guy cry. Like that's literally the show. Like she's literally just picking on him, and you're just watching her pick on this dude for like 25 minutes, which is like each episode. I don't know why I like it. It's like a guilty pleasure type of show, because she's literally just messing with the dude. Like the dude's just like hanging out, doing his own thing. He likes to draw or whatever. And she shows up and she's like, "What's up, senpai? You're a fucking weirdo, you creep." Like just talking shit to the dude. And the dude just sits there and takes it. He doesn't like fight back or say anything. I'm like, bro, tell her to fuck off. Like, why are you just taking all this fucking like verbal abuse?
But is it because he likes her? I'm assuming he likes her, right?
And that's pretty much what they start hinting towards that, like towards like the 2nd and 3rd episode, because like he remembers. I don't know if it's like Stockholm syndrome, but like he remembers like a flashback to or like a memory to something they were doing, and like the way he remembered was nowhere near how that played out. Like it was all like the background was all rosy and like she was talking nice to him or whatever. But like what really happened, she was just talking shit to him, but he remembered like a more nicer version of it. But also, funny enough, the girl that is picking on him, Nagatoro, she also likes him too, because she has her friends who her friends also start picking on him on the 3rd episode. They start making fun of him, call him a dog, and just talking mad shit to the guy, right? And one of them was gonna like touch his hair and kind of like pet him and kind of like just make him seem like he's kind of like worthless or whatever. and her friend was gonna touch his head, and she grabbed his hand, grabbed her hand, like, don't do that, like, don't touch this, like, don't touch him, you know. So
Mhm.
so it's almost like I can pick on him, but nobody else can pick on him, type of thing. So like it's
Okay.
kind of like that. So I mean, it looks like there is some underlining romantic uh connection there between them, but it's not. I feel like it's not gonna be a very healthy relationship because I mean she talks mad shit to this dude. Like man, and honestly, like I don't know why I'm enjoying it so much. I'm watching it and I'm just watching it like, damn, she's talking mad shit. Like her facial expressions are like very entertaining the way she acts around him. But the thing is like, and also okay, the other thing I guess I'd like about this because she's kind of putting up a front around him in a sense. Because like yeah, she is talking shit to him. She's all kind of like pushing him, like she calls him a virgin and shit like that, right? Um, but the few times where he kind of does step up, like kind of against her or kind of like pushes back a bit, she's kind of shocked. You know, she kind of like for like a second or two, she kind of gets like kind of thrown off a little bit, right? She doesn't expect it from him. She's just kind of like, oh man, he actually like said something, or he actually kind of did this and did that, or whatever. It kind of takes like a few seconds to kind of gather herself back together and can keep on, talking shit to him. So I kind of like that too. So I mean, I hope there's more to the show than not just them goofing around and just her talking shit to him. Especially if they're really doing that undertone. Hey, they like each other. They might do something. They
Right.
might get together. So hopefully it does more than that. But honestly, just because I know how these anime shows go, most likely it's not. Nothing's gonna happen. Most likely it's just gonna be 12 episodes of her just talking shit to him. He might get a comeback here and there, and maybe the last two episodes, like they confess to each other's love, and they hold hands and they like maybe kiss. Like I'm pretty sure that's how the show's gonna go, or it might not even go that way. It might just end with her just talking more shit to him. Who knows? So I'm gonna stick with it for now.
Oh, nice.
It's definitely a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's way better shows out there this season. But for whatever reason, this is the one show that I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm going to keep watching this. The next show, it is called Farewell, My Dear Kramer. It is about a girls' high school soccer team. And I'm liking it. I'm liking it. It's pretty cool. It's not the animation is not as fluid or as elaborate as something like Haikyuu, right? I think that's how I say it.
Yeah.
It's not as at that level yet, but they haven't really had anything like any like important matches yet. But it's really cool to see these these three. They focus with three characters, three high school girls who they want to be the best soccer players around. They want to really push their limits and whatever. The main girl, um back in middle school she didn't have she wasn't in the girls soccer team, she was on the boys soccer team, so she's like really good because she's playing with the boys, I guess. And then going into high school she's like, I want to join the boys soccer team. And then I forgot one of her coaches told her like, no, go join the girls soccer team or some shit like that. I was like, that's kind of, I don't know, like let her. If she wants to join this boys soccer team, why not? I don't know. It's like it was a weird speech that he gave her, because it was like, hey, go and achieve your dreams, but kind of do it in your own lane. I'm like, what? That's a weird ass message you're sending someone. Like, try to achieve your dreams, but kind of don't stick in your lane, type of thing. Like, if she wants to play with the boys, fuck it, break those gender barriers. Why not? But it didn't. It didn't go that route. It was more like, yeah, go play with the girls and be the best girl player you can be. And I was like, I guess whatever. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. But it's a good show. It's funny. There's a lot of characters. It's like an ensemble piece, kind of, which typically is what these sports team anime shows tend to go. As you like the characters, they have simple designs, but like they feel like normal people, and like it's not over. It's not over, like it's not trying too hard to be funny. It's not trying too hard to be like like dramatic or like cheesy. It's just pretty much like, hey, like these girls, they want to play soccer and they want to get better at it, and they're trying to like become a team and stuff like that, you know. And like the times it does get funny, it's good humor and it makes sense within the world. I'm really enjoying the show a lot. Like this is, I mean, I've only seen 3 shows to this date where I'm like all the way caught up. This is number two, you know. Number one is My Hero, of course, but you know, I'm really enjoying the show. Really look forward to the show, you know. One of the funniest one of the funniest gags that the show has up to date is that, you know, they had a practice match in episode 2 against like the best girl soccer team in like in the region, and they got shut out for like 20-0 or like some crazy number. Like they lost like by a crazy amount, you know. And it really put them in perspective. Like, damn, like yeah, we're good at soccer like individually, but as a team, like we're nowhere near that level, and we need to like really figure out how to work together and really become a unit if we want to like actually succeed in soccer, right? And then, you know, they were walking. It was the next day. They were walking toward, you know, to school, and then the boys from that school where they're like their friends, and they're also on the boys soccer team. They're like, hey guys, how did the game go? I saw you guys lost. That sucks, right? And the 3 main girls were so mad because they got reminded that they lost. They ran up to them and start kicking them in the shins. So they're like talking shit and like you guys are a bunch of fucking idiots. They're kicking them in the shins, and then they're punching them, and like at the last second you just see a whole leg kick someone in the head. Like out of nowhere. And it was such a like fast little like thing they put in there. Like it's a lot of fun. It's a really down to earth, slice of life anime, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. And that's it, because I didn't watch anything else other than My Hero.
Well, golly,
Yeah.
from 10 to 3. Okay.
10 to 3, I know.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm pretty sure I had about like 6 or 8 animes that I wanted to watch, and I pretty much only ended up liking like maybe 4 that are not like, is concurrent the right term? Like the where they're continuing from previous
Yeah.
seasons? Okay, yeah. So like not concurrent or continuing animes from, like, for example, like Boruto. Like for anybody that is watching Boruto, I'm just gonna give a quick PSA. Right now is some of the best Boruto we've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
It is fantastic. We recently got a really dope, like incredibly dope kind of training practice scene where Naruto fights his son, and it is super sick. It was a really, really good episode. That's besides the point. Boruto's kick ass right now, so definitely check that one out. With a grain of salt. Keyword grain of salt. But of course, yeah, My Hero is something I've been keeping up with, obviously. To Your Eternity was one that I ended up continuously watching. This one is one where I am kind of skeptical. I think it's my guilty pleasure, but I'm not very happy watching it right now because um I don't particularly enjoy watching this show, but I also don't want to miss it. It's called How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Omega. Um
Yeah.
I know for a fact that it's not very good because when I watch it, I can tell that I'm not really enjoying watching it, but I also don't want to miss it because I did enjoy season 1 so much, but season 2 just feels like they're derailing it so much that it's not what I fell in love with in the beginning. I say fell in love with very lightly. Um,
Isn't it harem?
yeah, it's like a harem isekai with elements of magic and like sword fighting and things like that. But I'm just not liking this season at all. I'm not really messing with it too much. I don't really like the story behind it, but I'm gonna continue watching it because I'm hoping it gets better. So by the end of the season, when we do talk about these animes again, I will see if this was either a wasted effort or if I was right to stick with it.
How
Um,
many episodes did you see?
so far, I'm fully caught up. So there are 3 episodes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so I'm fully caught up with it, but I haven't decided if I'm like if I'm gonna regret watching all probably 12 or 13 episodes of it by the end. So we'll see. Um, the one that I did drop, it's called I've Been Killing Slimes 300 years, and now I'm maxed out my level. At first, the first episode was kind of funny. It was kind of janky. I liked how she was super OP and she had lived for 300 years and she was just killing and repeating, killing these slimes over and over again. And somehow she had the ability to double, if not triple, the XP she was gaining. So really, instead of the 2 XP, she was gaining 4 or 6. So that's how she like leveled up so quickly. But she didn't know. Um, it was more of like a comedy isekai, which I wasn't really a big fan of. Um, Pretty much every episode, a new character would come in and either challenge her to a fight or be like, "Hey, you're really strong. I just wanted to test my mettle." Or, "Oh, I hear you're really strong. I'm actually your daughter." But she's like, I've lived alone these 300 years. How are you my daughter?" And it's just like weird things like that where it was just I just couldn't get behind the story, so I wasn't really a big fan of it. Um, the next one, Tokyo Revengers, which is one that me and
Hmm.
Renee had, I think, in common.
Mhm. Mhm.
I F heavy with this show. I actually really, really enjoy it. It is a
So do
surprising.
I.
It's a surprising twist that I was not expecting at all. I'll let kind of Renee go in depth with it a little more, so then we can kind of go back and forth on that one when it's your turn. But um, I really, 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 really love this show. Um, One that also surprised me, but I had a feeling it was going to be good. It's called 8686. It is an action kind of mecha uh, show where they kind of segregate two different people. It's very World War II esque, but like in a fantasy realm. So essentially, there's like this alpha group of people who are blaming like normal everyday people. So it sounds very this gonna, once I kind of start describing the people, you're kind of gonna understand why I call it very World War II esque. So like the prime people, the people who are not to blame, the people who are saviors of the world. They have blue hair and baby blue eyes, and they are all of like a fair complexion. And they all blame these devils. They call them pigs, which are called 86s, and they're these like degenerate people, at least in their mind. Um, but pretty much everybody in this like alpha group of people, of like this race, think that all these people are to blame for the disasters in this world, and so they kind of like ostracize them and keep them out in like the outer lands and don't allow them into the city. But the thing is, there's a raging war going on outside of the city, and one way that this alpha people and the government of this country uh, try to ease the people's mind over the war and say, "Hey, we actually created these robots where um, they actually are going to fight the war for us, so there's no casualties on our end." But in reality, they're actually having these ostracized people, these 86ers, jump into the machines and manually drive them and send them into war without saying anything to the other people in the country. And they're saying, "Oh, we're fighting a non-casualty war. We're just sending these robots, and these robots are if they die in the field, it has nothing to do with us. It's a bloodless war. That's what they call it." But in reality, they're keeping these secrets from the people and from other people and from like other people in the government and some sections of the government where they're like they don't know that this is happening, but they just want to keep like this pristine, beautiful look about themselves. But then the one main character, who is a girl, she knows what's going on. She feels guilty about everything, but yet she still works with the government and she tries to kind of bond with those 86ers. But of course, that's very hard because the 86ers have this hate towards them, and it's a very crazy thing. And so you kind of dive deep into that kind of stuff, and the action's really, really great, but it's also very much more of a drama type show. And the mech battles are pretty cool, but very, very surprised with this one. I was not expecting to like it, but something told me I was, and I did. So I mean, very, very happy about that one. And then I'm trying to see if there were any other ones, at least on Crunchyroll, that I enjoyed. Well, I did kind of mention it. To Your Eternity is very interesting. It's essentially this like godly figure who sends this orb to the earth, and the orb takes like these different shapes. At one point, a wolf dies next to the orb, and the orb takes the shape of the wolf. And he goes to this little town. He meets this boy who has been alone in this like ice country, ice like city. And he said all of his family or all the people in his city left to go find a safer, warmer place that can grow fruit and things like that, but he stayed behind because he was the only one that could take care of the elderly and the kids. And so everybody but he died in the city that was left there, and he had no idea what happened to those people who left to try to find a better place for them to live. And so one day he decides to get up and leave, and he runs into the wolf, which surprisingly was like a friend from a long time. And he hugs him, embraces him, and this orb that doesn't have any emotions. It's kind of like this doll or this kind of puppet, kind of learning to live and be amongst Earth and everything that's going on. He starts to develop like emotions. He learns what hunger is. He learns what taste is and things like that. Kind of you see this creature, this thing, kind of develop what more normal is normal to everybody else and to animals and to things like that. So it's a really cool way of seeing this godly figure kind of develop and grow as one thing, and as things kind of progress. And it's just like, it's very interesting how they portray it. The one qualm I have about the show is that at the first 3 to 5 minutes of the show is just basic recap and the intro to the song. So it's just like, it's like a third or a fourth of the show just my episode completely gone because it's a full ass recap. And I'm just like, I don't need this. Give me like maybe a 30-second recap, a minute 15 intro,
Right.
and I'm set and we can keep going. But like they just have these really long intros, and it's always the same where it's like the godly figure, I sent my orb to Earth to understand, to grow, to learn emotions. I'm like, okay, bro, I hear this every time. Give me something else, please. And then once I think, oh, I'm getting something new, it's like, what happened in the last episode? And I'm like, all right, I don't care. So I just skip all that. I just keep going, and it is what it is. And last but not least, we move over to Funimation, the Funimation side, which is exclusive to Funimation. And I can't really say there's a lot of shows that I was watching here either. I was actually, and I've said this to multiple people before. I've said this on my stream and everything like that. I'm actually really, really disappointed with this season. I don't like a lot of the shows that it's airing right now. I think that it's actually a pretty bad season for anime in general. I had watched or started watching Full Dive, the Ultimate Next Gen Full Dive RPG. I know Raphael said that he was gonna watch 2, but I didn't even like. I watched maybe episode 1, and I can't bring myself to watch episode 2 or 3. Like I just dropped that completely. I haven't
Is
even.
it boring?
Kind of. It's like, it's essentially like this kid wanted to have the latest. I'm just gonna say like Call of Duty, right? It's not. It is like an RPG game, but I'm just saying like he wanted the latest Call of Duty, but everywhere it's being sold out. And then he's like, well, I need to have Call of Duty. I need to have this RPG game. And so he goes to like this like mom and pop shop, and then this lady's there. The lady's working the register, and she's like, oh, why do you want this RPG number 7? Like it's the same as number 6. They just added this feature and that's it. And then the kid starts to think, oh yeah, like why do I like this? I don't even enjoy this game anymore. I just kind of play it because it's the new thing and everybody plays it, but I haven't enjoyed this game since 2. And then he starts to think about it, and she's like, oh, I have this better game, this game that's more realistic, that adapts to your character and things like that. And he starts to kind of get like, coaxed into buying it. And then she's like, I mean, you should get it. It's great. And then she kind of like plays with the wording, and she's like, oh yeah, it's the newest best game. And then he's like, yeah, but I'll take it. I'll take it. So he buys it, and then she sprints to the register, puts the money in the register, like goes through garbage to grab the game that she was talking about. And she's like, here you go. And he's like, this isn't RPG number 7. And she's like, no, sale is non-refundable and this and that. She's like, but if you need help. And she's like super pretty, and she like used her feminine charm. And this guy's like a little teenage boy, so he's like, nose bleeding, face red, all that corny stuff in anime. And he's like, yeah, like go on, tell me more. And she's like, I'll train you and I'll teach you and I'll show you the ropes of this anime. And or not this anime, this RPG. So he kind of gets like swindled into playing the game, and it's like super realistic. So whatever your body looks like in the real life is what your body looks like in the game. And he just comes to find out that he's not really a big fan of the game, but he can't return it and he can't get out of it. And then she somehow convinces him to keep playing the game. I kind of
Sounds pretty stupid.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Sounds pretty dumb
I
to
was
me.
not a big fan of the show after episode 1. I tried watching episode 2, but I just kept stopping every time and just never coming back to it. I have not, and I don't think I will touch Megalobox just yet. That was one where I was like, meh, like I don't really know how I feel about that. But I mean, just in general,
It's good, man. I've only saw the first episode. That's why I didn't talk about it here, because I haven't seen all 3 episodes yet. But from the first episode that I watched, I really like where it's going.
Okay.
It's taking a darker turn than the original one.
Oh, really?
So yeah, did you see the first season?
Yeah. I watched the first season, but I just haven't. Just
You
I
know,
haven't checked out this one.
it's really good. It's taking yeah, it's almost like if I forget the name of the guy, but like if the main character, like almost like if he got the bad ending season one, like
Oh.
like even though I mean in season one he did actually like spoilers, he did actually win the tournament on everything else, right? Like he succeeded in his goal to win, but because of certain choices, certain things happened where he kind of went down the wrong path.
Hmm.
So he's kind of like in a bad spot right now.
Okay.
Starting this season.
Yeah, I think I'll probably wait for it to wrap up so I can just binge that completely. I feel like that's probably something I would more enjoy with that show. Besides that, Combatants Will Be Dispatched was another show I did watch. Watched episode 1 and 2 and then completely dropped it. I don't know, I just wasn't really a big fan. It's essentially kind of like an isekai where it's like this guy's working in an evil organization and they send him to another world because they want them to conquer that world, and then bring back any resources and anything, any money, anything like that to the other world that he was originally from. It was just a really weird premise. They have like these lowly characters and things like that, and it's just really, really weird. I just wasn't a big fan of it. I completely dropped it after episode 2. But besides that, sadly, what I'm really enjoying right now when it comes to anime is just shows that are just continuations from uh, like last season, or just every season continuations, kind of like One Piece, Boruto, and Black Clover. Like those are, right now currently are super hitting. Um, One Piece is kind of meh. They're kind of doing a flashback sequence, but that it is what it is. You have to be all caught up with like 1,000 episodes, so it's up to you if you want to go through that. But yeah, Black Clover for sure. My Hero Academia is a huge plus, and Boruto has been really, really hitting right now. So I mean, that's overall. I would say I'm pretty happy with the probably like 4 animes that I actually enjoy. Besides that, like everything else within the spring 2021 season is kind of just been a huge disappointment.
Go ahead, Renee.
All right. Okay. So for someone who's new to like watching anime like by seasons, like I never really watched it in this way. Like usually I would just go on like Netflix or Hulu, and if I like saw a trailer for something and I enjoyed it, like that's just how I watched it. So my list wasn't very long to begin with. I was pretty realistic. I don't like to watch too many shows at one time. It gets me a little anxious. I always just like to take my time, like just focus on like a couple. So I feel like if there's like too many, like I kind of just forget certain things and everything just becomes like meshed together. Um, so for this season, I did end up watching at least one on my list. I think there was a couple, but I followed through with one of them. And as Hector was mentioning, it was Tokyo Revengers. Um, it's an action. It's a shonen, and I was all for it because the Hector and Rafa had recommended me to watch Slice of Life anime, and it was great, but like I just needed something to like take me away from it for a little bit. So like I was happy that Tokyo Revengers was a thing, and I really enjoyed it. Watched the first 3 episodes, and you know, at first, I didn't think I was gonna get into it just because I'm so picky, like, with the art style, and I wasn't blown away with how the characters were drawn, but the story was very captivating. And, like, just to, like, touch, like, a little bit on it, you're kinda so, like, you have this main character, his name's, Takemichi. I'm probably butchering the name. Um, but you find out in the first episode that his girlfriend from like middle school had like died in a tragic accident by there's a certain gang. I think it's like the Tokyo Manji gang. And he's upset about it. His character, he's kind of at rock bottom, like he's not really happy with his life. And then to top that off, he finds out that his girlfriend had, from middle school had passed away, and he hasn't talked to her since then. Um, but then, he's just literally waiting for the train one day, and someone pushes him in front of a moving train, and you have that moment, where your life flashes before your eyes, and the next thing you know, he is set back like 12 years into the past as his like old self, like as his self in middle school or high school, Hector, I'm not sure. And yeah, he's now like in the past. So like very, I don't know, I was already kind of like sucked into this story, like very unique. I've never watched something like this. But I'm enjoying the heck out of it, and I'm really excited for the next episode. Hector, do you have any more thoughts on that? Like I mean, I know you said you loved it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I feel like maybe loved was a little too big of a word. I really
Oh,
really
I
do
love
enjoy
it.
it. No, yeah, like I really really do enjoy it. I think my biggest complaint is I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like the main character Takemichi, yeah, I think it was right.
Takemichi.
Yeah, he looks younger than the younger brother.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you see that?
the girlfriend's brother,
Yeah, like
right?
when the police officer, which is the younger brother, comes up, uh, he just looks way older than the main character, and I'm just like, why does this look so weird to me? Like, I mean, I get that he's like, well, the younger brother's wearing like a suit, and then Takamichi's wearing like a t-shirt and shorts,
Yeah,
but like, it's so weird that he looks younger.
and that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know if it's the art style, like, of just how they're drawn, but like I had my problems with it. It made everyone's age questionable.
Yep.
But I just thought that was just like not a flaw, but like just because of the way they were just drawn.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, right? Like the future stuff, I think is kind of interesting. I like it, but for me, like I'm super sucked into the past and how he's kind of just changing the past and doing things differently. I love the idea that he can just jump back and forth. I like that he has a special connection with the younger brother where all he has to do is just shake his hand and he can just fast forward to the future. Yeah, it's just like it's so cool. I think it's a very interesting way of presenting a show like that. I can't say I've actually watched anything that's similar to this, so that's why I'm like super invested into it. Um, and the most recent episode was very interesting because like the one of the main bad guys that you hear about, the leader of that gang, is supposed to be like this evil guy. He's terrible, he's all that, but then when you meet him in the show, as a child, it's like you find out he had a tragic past, and he has like this interesting dream that I wouldn't say is pure, but kind of has some light to it behind it, where he just wants to make a carefree life for himself and people like him. Um, I like it a lot though. I'm super happy about the show. I was very surprised when I started watching it. I didn't know what it was gonna be. I thought it was just
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like a regular like restart type. Uh, it's not necessarily an isekai, but I think it would be categorized under there. Where it's just like he something happens to him in the future where he just somehow gets teleported to the past. So it's just like in
I
his
would say
own
it's
Oh,
body.
more like time travel.
well, yeah, I thought like I don't know, based off what you told me, Hector, I thought like a isekai. How you say that? Isekai?
Yeah.
Isekai.
I thought they got like transported like into like a fantasy
Well, yeah, because it's like I
realm.
mean, essentially he. Well, I guess yeah, he doesn't die. It's just something that has to do with time travel. Because like in the show, spoiler for episode 1, he gets pushed onto like the train tracks when a moving train is coming. So I've seen that in animes. I've seen that in shows before, where it's like they're about to die, so that a godly figure or somebody saves them and it teleports them either to the past to change their wrongdoings, or just teleports them to another fantasy realm. By the way, Renee, in Isekai, there's a running joke. Uh, a lot of trucks, like moving vans and things like that, kill the main characters. So there's quite literally like a worshiping on like Twitter and other anime fandom sites and stuff called Truck Coon, which is like they literally call
Okay.
the truck a Truck Coon. It's like, please Truck Coon, come save me and take me to a better world. It's very depressing and funny, but it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like, so they push him in front of Train Coon, and there you go. There's that. So it's just like it's really dumb, uh, but it's just something that happens. It's just a running joke with isekais. So it's like that's why I thought it was something similar. But then when he comes back to the real world, it's just like,
Yeah, because
I don't know. Yeah,
I think his girlfriend from middle school, the brother, didn't he say like he saved? Sorry, spoilers. Yeah, didn't he say that he saved him from the train? Like he didn't really.
yeah. I didn't understand because like he woke up in the bed and then he was like, "I'm totally fine. Like I'm not dead." And then
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't understand that part after that. I was just like,
Yeah, me neither.
okay. And then so what happened? Like they pull you out? Did you just not get hit? Did you get hit and you were fine? I don't understand that part. I feel like they kind of could have explained that a little bit better. But then they just go straight into, I am Hina's younger brother. I think that is her name. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hina's younger brother. What you told me that day stuck with me, and I changed my path from here on. And this is the Friday after the incident. I lived, but everything I did amounted to nothing because I couldn't save her. So it's just like it's this really cool plot and a really cool story that I'm really really excited to see the continuation of, and I kind of want to see the little brother again just to see like how he interacts with him back in the past
Mm-hmm.
after he kind of told him like, hey, take care of your sister, you guys die on April 11th or something like that. So it's just like it's
Mm-hmm.
really really crazy.
Yeah, I like it. As I said, like these past couple of weeks, I've been watching nothing but like slice of life. So I'm like, oh, this is so nice to get into. It like it's just I don't know. Like I was already sucked in from the first episode. I needed some action. I needed something drastic to happen. I'm like, thank you.
God bless non-slice life. Sorry, Rafa.
Disappointed.
And then I guess moving on to everyone's favorite recap show segment of the podcast, we are finally going to talk about My Hero Academia episode 93. I believe it's 93. Yeah, 93, season 5, episode 5. Oh wow, we're 5 episodes in. I did not know that. Okay,
Isn't that crazy?
season
That's
5,
crazy.
episode 5. It's going super fast. Season 5, episode
Yeah.
5, episode 93. If you guys do not want to hear the spoilers for this show, make sure to check the link down in below. We're gonna have the timestamps for that. And the next topic, I believe we're going straight into anime swap, and then we're ending off spoilers for the pod, ending off with a discussion on the Demon Slayer movie. So there's that. Check the description for the timestamps. We'll see you in anime swap if you're there. If not, have a great rest of your day because we're gonna be talking tons of spoilers from here on out, guys. So first and foremost, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on episode 93. What did you guys think? What do you think of the arc that's going on so far? And yeah,
I'm enjoying what's going on. I felt like this episode took a little bit too long to get into the action. Like I understand they want to give us a backstory of the bird guy.
Yeah, it dragged a little bit.
You know, they because I was really waiting for because this matchup I was waiting for the most or one of the most because
what?
yes, can I explain myself, Hector? Jesus. Because I don't know if you remember, but I brought this up last time. I kind of do this. I haven't done it recently, but with My Hero, I kind of look ahead into some of the characters. Um,
Yes.
like for example, that's how I became fans of Gentle Criminal and La Brava because I looked into them beforehand before they actually got into the anime. And another character that I looked into before the anime started was the Mushroom Girl, what you see her at the end of this episode, where she can grow a bunch of mushrooms, and she's hilarious. I like her. I like her character. I like her design. You know, so like that's what I was waiting for. I'm waiting to see her pop off because I think if I remember what I've looked into, I think she's gonna have like a really big moment. If I'm
Oh,
pretty sure she
oh,
will.
mm,
I'm not 100% sure on that. Because it's been a while since I remember all this information. I just know that I just thought like when I first looked into it, I was like, man, this character looks really cool. I want to see more of this character. Um, so that it's kind of like I'm kind of just waiting for the next episode right now, pretty much. Nothing against this episode. This episode was fine, other than they kind of dragged to get into like the actual uh Class A versus Class B matchup. With the little recap at the beginning. Um, but like I want to see more of the comic book guy from Class B. Who's in Class A? What's in the group the Class A group this time around?
Um,
It's
the
Tokoyami.
who had his moment as well. Who else?
Right, the bird guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Momo.
I,
Love
don't,
her.
I really don't care about Momo, honestly.
Wow,
Really?
she's
Momo,
so great.
she's
like-
alright. Other girls better from Class B. Big
She don't do
sister,
nothing.
Big sister, she's way better.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Tendo or I think
Ken-
it's Tendo. Kendo?
Yeah.
Tendo? One of those two.
Tendo, yeah,
Kendo.
she's cooler. And who else?
Oh,
I
the
can't
invisible
remember.
girl? I forgot her
She
name.
had her moment too. Yeah.
Which,
She alright.
by the way, how the hell does she just shoot light when she's invisible?
I didn't even know she can do that. I just thought she was
light.
invisible.
Oh, I was just so confused. I was like, what?
She
I'm
bends
like,
light.
that's so cool.
Using her I was playing invincibility, but that's not the right word.
Invisibility.
Yeah, with that, because like you know how that shit works. Like in real life, it's just
Kind of,
bending.
yeah.
It's bending of light itself.
Huh.
Like, that's how that actually works. Like being able like things that are like see through or whatever.
Mhm.
The only reason it's see through is because light is going through it or going around it. So it's kind of based off that. So she's bending light to be able to. So like she's able to kind of move light around. I guess I don't know. It's weird. I'm explaining it like a really stupid ass way, but she could
No.
do stuff like that.
It was just cool to see though, because I feel like we've only really seen her just be invisible. Like
Right.
I never
Facts,
really
yeah.
understood her her quirk besides that. So I feel like this episode they put a lot of characters that were kind of like on the back burner and like kind of showed you like what they were capable of. So like I thought that was really cool.
And that's what I'm really liking about this arc is that they're showing off, not just Deku, not just Bakugo and the main people. They're showing off the rest of the students in My Hero. So it's really cool. And of course, my main guy, I forgot his name, Belly Button Beam
Oh,
Dude.
yeah.
He's awesome. I love him. I just love everything about him. His attitude, the flair, the pageantry, everything about him. I just love it. And yeah, it was cool to see his power. I really like the idea that the guy from Class B, the Shadow guy, could go inside Bird Guy's shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That was
true.
really cool. That was really cool to see. Like these guys are, like they were saying, like these guys are destined to be rivals and to go against each other. Like they have similar quirks, but they're completely different in their own special way. Like that was really cool, and also to see how Bird Guy, I'm gonna keep calling him Bird Guy because I don't remember their names. How like yeah, it took forever for them to get into like the actual match, but it was nice. It was nice to see his backstory with with Hawks, and how he had to kind of like kind of adapt and really change his style, or not change his style, but like really kind of grow as a hero, because he was kind of just being left behind. And Hawks himself said like, hey man, I normally don't take on like students and stuff like that, but like we're both like birds, so like we kind of have to stick together. So that was kind of cool to see
That's really cool.
Hawks do that. Yeah, so yeah, overall I enjoyed it. It was kind of cool to see them, the Shadow I kind of do this thing. Everybody had their moment to shine, pretty for the most part. The manga guy didn't do much. He kind of just hung out in the background. And the one from this matchup, the one that I'm looking forward to the most is the Mushroom Girl. She started growing mushrooms at the end everywhere, so I know that's gonna be a thing. Like,
Yeah, I was like totally thrown off by that because like there was it went to like Kendo, so I thought Kendo was like releasing all these mushrooms, and then literally like the last couple seconds you see Mushroom Girl. I'm like, oh, that's who Rafa was talking about.
yeah. So it looks like I also like this episode because it looks like they're really gonna show off. What's her name, Kendo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're really gonna show her off. I feel like, because we know Momo, we know she's smart and she's like super brainy or whatever. But like, I feel like they're really gonna show off Kendall, especially with the lines they were throwing out, like, hey, Plan A was with the Shadow guy. Just it felt like, for me, what it felt like is like team Class 1B. This team, they have different plans kind of set up, right? So their Plan A, send the Shadow guy. If that doesn't work, okay, this is Plan B. If that doesn't work, then okay, we have Plan C. Like it feels like they have a almost like a battle plan almost, and then it's all because of Kendo. That's what it seems to me.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. I don't think Class A is gonna win this one. I think this is gonna go to Class B, and I honestly hope it does because Mushroom Girl, I really like her. She's cool. So I can't wait to next episode.
I think for me, what I was really excited about is I just like seeing Tokoyami's progression. He
Mm-hmm.
is just such a very important character in the show. Besides
Oh.
obviously like the big three, which was like Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. So I think the fact that people just love him just in general, like he is such a fan favorite character, but also so is Momo. So I just like the idea of Kendo and Momo kind of battling head to head because they were, like they mentioned, sent to the same what is it, like the
Work study,
yeah,
hero
work
study
study,
thing.
hero study thing. Yeah, so they were both sent to there. They both modeled. They both did like things like that, and they just kind of mentioned how, like, I like the idea that they're not saying that they're just pretty, that they have other stuff to do, because like that's kind of what Kendo and Momo was insinuating when she said, "Oh, I just didn't appear there because I had this and I had band and I had all the other stuff that I wanted to do instead." And then she just kind of also mentioned that, like, oh, Eraserhead also just didn't mention that there was a beauty contest, and I like how Kendo was just challenging her and saying that, like,
Mm-hmm.
you're my rival essentially, kind of like how Bakugo and Deku are. So I like that. I don't really like Kendo's quirk where she just can have huge fists, and like she's just Luffy essentially, where her hands like expand like crazy and she can do crazy stuff. But I like that she's more methodical and smarter about how she does things. And she's just kind of a nice opposition to Momo. I think that they had Class B shine a lot besides
Mm-hmm.
Tokoyami. So I'm waiting to see how Class A counterattacks them and fights them back in the next episode. But also I'm wanting to see like how the rest of the fight continues, and just how it's just played out on the screen, to see how great they kind of showcase everybody's powers, because I think that's like the big thing about this arc is just showcasing these young heroes' powers and how they've developed. So I want to see how Momo has developed. But I'm most like intrigued about like Class B just because we haven't seen much about them. They've just pretty much been studying and things like that. So I want to see how Kendo has expanded her big fist quirk. I don't even know what it's called, but that quirk that she has, and just but probably my favorite character out of everybody that was in that episode was the shadow guy. He was just super sick. I just liked everything about him, and I like how they
So
kept calling him Dark Fallen Angel. Or I don't know if that was
No, that's Bird
that's
Guy's
that's
move.
Tokyo. Yeah,
Tokoyami, yeah.
yeah. That
Yeah,
was his ultimate move or whatever. But
that
yeah,
was his new move.
But you're talking about the creepy guy
yeah,
in class.
I didn't
yeah.
like
He
him.
was terrifying. I'm like, oh my
I
gosh,
didn't
that's
like
his
him.
face.
He was my favorite.
He was
Uh,
scary.
just because like his
What a
quirk was
weirdo.
so cool, man. He can get into shadows. He can move the shadow. He was like speeding down the pipe with laser beam boy on it, like in his hand. He was just flying around. Like that to me was just super funny. Um, Big shocker moment was definitely when the invisible girl used that like beam thing. I was like, what the hell?
Yes,
I didn't even
I
remember
did
that
not
in the
expect that.
manga. I didn't even remember that. So I was like, oh shit, that's cool. But besides that, I think this episode was super. Yeah, I agree. It was long. In the sense that like they just kept setting up for next episode. Um, and I hope that's not a trend that's gonna continue. So it's like setup, great episode, setup, great episode. Like I hope that doesn't continue. I hope they change that,
Right.
and they find the way to set up and give us action.
Right.
Just get into the matchups. I really don't need the whole setup thing. Like you said, it was cool to see this guy's background, but I really didn't care. Like it's cool that he was hanging out with Hawks, but I don't care. I want to see them show off. I want to see the matchups. I want to see who wins. So I'm telling you, keep an eye out. Mushroom Girl. She's gonna be the MVP of this matchup. I'm calling it right now.
I
Guys,
also just feel like there's just a lot of characters still. Like there's still a lot of people in class B. There's still a lot of people in class A. Like how many episodes is it going to take for them to actually finish all these? You know what I mean? Like I love like I love seeing them, compete with one another. But like I don't know if I can do that for like 6 more episodes or how
I
long it's
can.
gonna take. You
I
can't?
can.
Okay.
Yes,
It's
I
just me.
can. Yeah, I definitely can. I love seeing. I love seeing everybody's powers and everybody gets to shine and stuff like that. I think it's
Oh,
a really fun thing to
and I do
experience.
too. I just think there needs to be like, I like that this is happening, but like to still maybe can we see something else as this is going on? You know, like I love the training aspect. I love that you can see everyone's quirks, but like I still would like to see another like element in this season.
Well, I don't know how long it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be the regular 12, 13 episode run, or if it's gonna be the 24, 26 episode run. Do you know, Hector? Do you know how long this it's gonna be?
I'm actually looking that up right now. But I think the way it's looking, it's gonna probably be a two-parter because
So
there's
Okay.
it's gonna run for two
we're
seasons
we're
then.
we're in 5 episodes deep, and I can tell you right now we are nowhere near the big stuff that's gonna happen in this arc.
Okay,
Oh.
so then most likely it's gonna go for 24 episodes then, right?
Yeah, that's what my guess is gonna go 24 episodes. Which, if that's the case, I still don't
I'm all
want
about
them
it.
to do one, setup episode setup. I don't want them to do that.
No, I mean I don't like that. I don't like when it's like set up and then like the actual match itself. But I'm okay with them having each team kind of show off what they can do. I like that a lot. I don't want them like I'm kind of like the opposite of Renee right now because Renee, you're saying like you want more. You kind of want
Yeah,
like other
like a balance.
stories
Like
or
yeah, like some like what else is going on as this is happening? Because
right
we know something's gonna happen, outside
like
of this.
I get that, but I just want to see everybody's powers and what they can do. Like I'm just curious like that. I just want to see what everybody can do. So I'm more in focused on the actual training or the
Mhm.
actual like battles or whatever. Like for example, with this episode when they were kind of like setting things up, getting everybody ready, and then it cuts to Hawks and like that training program, like that flashback. I was like, bro, get this off my screen. Put
And
it
I
back to the
like that. I was
fight.
like, okay, let's
I
see what's
did
going
it.
on.
I would
I
say
did.
keep a sharp eye on the connection with Hawks and Tokiyami. That's gonna be important for the future. So don't
Hmm.
skip over that. Don't
I
like.
mean, I'm not gonna skip over it. I'm just saying, like, I was like, that's cool. Like I said, it's cool to see his like they're setting up that relationship between them. Like they're giving you like because I didn't know like he was training with Hawks. I didn't know that up to this episode or whatever, which is fine. It's cool to see. It's cool to get more background with the other characters. But as of right now, I just want to see these matches. I don't care about
Yeah.
anything else.
Hmm.
That's just how I am right now.
Okay. No, I respect your opinion.
Yeah. Thank you.
So to kind of clarify a little bit as well, only the first season of My Hero Academia got 13 episodes. Every season after that got 25 episodes.
Okay,
Oh
so yeah, so
wow.
it's gonna be another one.
So it's gonna be another one where we get 25 episodes and just kind of elaborate. But like I've mentioned this before to you guys, probably I don't know if it's off pod or on pod, that this is technically a mini arc.
Right. I think you did mention that.
Yeah, so it's like this is a small arc compared to like the last arc with Overhaul. So it's like this is a small arc, and then we move into another small arc, and then we get back into like the
Yeah.
super main story. Like this is of course all main story. This is all important, but it's not as important as, for example, the Overhaul arc, and then the next arc is actually pretty important too. It's actually probably my favorite of the two is the next arc. That's gonna be happening after this, but um, this in itself, like especially knowing that there's 25 episodes, I'm just wondering if they're just gonna do straight up just this mini arc as 25 episodes, and then they're gonna come back with the next mini arc in the next 25 episodes, or if they're gonna do 14. No, I think 14 would be still too small. I don't know. I was thinking like maybe 14 episodes for this arc, which is the training arc, and then whatever happens next. Um, but again, I feel like 14 is way too small at the pace that they're going. So
Mm.
so I feel like we're gonna get just a full 25 episodes of training arc, which I would
Mhm.
hope they just continue with the story and just kind of get to where it needs to get. I already know like the big important thing they're gonna stretch out to three to four episodes. Um, so that's already 4 of 25 episodes that are just straight up mega story stuff, or like just straight up important stuff, or the big climactic finish, and then obviously the last episode is the the one where they kind of wrap things up and then kind of go on. So that's 5 episodes completely set for what's gonna happen. Now there's the other 20 that they have to play around with. So I don't know. I mean, it's really interesting to see how they're gonna do this. I just really hope that they get their pacing up a little bit, because it is kind of moving a little slow during these setup episodes. But I mean, yeah. Anybody have any final thoughts? If not, we can just kind of carry on.
No, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay.
Same.
Bet then, guys. It is finally time to move into anime swap. Okay. He caught on right away. I mean,
I got it this time.
yeah, he got it. He said he was gonna be more awake towards the end of the pod. I agree with that. I love that.
Yeah.
Last week, Rafa gave us recommendations. So Rafa, I'll let you kind of explain what you gave us, and then we'll hop into it.
Right. So, for Hector, I forgot the name of it, but it is.
Didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life?
Yes. So pretty much it's this girl who, she gets transported into an isekai world where she wants to be just the most average person in that new world, and she wishes upon that to whatever god she faces. But instead of just being a regular average person, the way she words her wish, something happens, right? So it's not she is technically average, but it's not the average that she was looking for. That's what Hector got to watch, and that's just the appetizer. The main course of this anime swap is I gave Renee one of my favorite shows of all time, K-On! The Slice of Life. Girls hanging out playing music, and just
that.
that's what they do, right? So I can't wait. I'm honestly cannot wait to see what Renee has to say. Our friendship depends on it.
No pressure.
So we're gonna start off with Hector, right? We're gonna start with the appetizer with some finger foods here. Go ahead, Hector. Let me see what you think about this show.
Truthfully, as an isekai, I was not a fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically because it is essentially a comedic. Would you consider it moe, like just cute?
It's kind of cute. It's cute. It has a lot of cute elements to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a comedy moe anime isekai, which it's not in my wheelhouse. I will just straight up say there were some moments where I thought was kind of funny. There were some moments where I thought her powers were like Rafa said, she worded it in such a weird way that she was actually kind of OP, but not really. And it's just, yeah, it was just kind of not all over the place, but for me, it just wasn't what I normally look for in isekais. And I was really surprised that Rafa was even going to give me an isekai to watch, but episode 1, I think flowed really, really well. I think around halfway through episode 2 is where I kind of started to fall off with it. And I feel like that's when it just started to kind of build up and kind of start getting good in a sense. But I was just like, like this isn't really something I would normally watch or enjoy. And to kind of just clarify a little bit for those that do want to check it out, I will read the synopsis for you guys. It says, Kurihara Misato was a little more capable than other high school girls, and as a result, she was always alone and couldn't live her life the way she wanted. When she was reincarnated in another world after a tragic accident, she wanted a chance to make normal friends and live a normal life. So she asked God for one thing. And then here comes the title of the show. Give me abilities that are average for that world. But the abilities God gave her were not average at all. And now this girl, who's been reborn in a world where magic is real, struggles to find simple, ordinary happiness.
So pretty much the way that the reason why she's like, okay, I want average abilities is what the god, they explain in the show, but I'm just gonna explain here now. The god or whatever decide okay, so you want average abilities across the board. So they took the strongest creature alive and like the lowest, weakest creature alive, and they put her down the middle of that list. So the strongest creature in that world is like I forgot, it was like a dragon or some shit like that, like this really strong dragon. And then so she ended up in the middle, but where humans are on that list are way down towards the bottom. So she is like the strongest human alive in a sense with her magic and all that stuff. So technically she is average. compared to the rest of the world, but to humans, she's OP.
Mm-hmm. So
So
like I
that's
said,
funny. I like that. I like
when
that
it
a
came to
lot.
that, I thought that was really interesting. But besides that, I felt like the story was kind of just it was okay. I would say this is an average isekai for people who enjoy isekais and are like isekai fans. It's pretty average. Um, I could see why people enjoy it, but overall, just for me, it just wasn't really it. I'm not a big fan of like comedy moe. I like comedy like what's that one isekai? The one with like Kazuma and Aqua-chan and all that.
Konosuba is
Kon-
that's just golden though.
That's what I'm saying though. It's like
That's top
I
tier. That's
I
god
like
tier
those, yeah, like those
comedy.
comedy ones. So like
That's the
stuff like
best of
that
the
is what I
best right
enjoy.
there. I would definitely put Konosuba over this show.
Yeah, so like
Hands down. Konosuba was like the best comedy isekai ever.
yeah, so like those Konosuba, like that's when it comes to comedy isekai, that's my golden standard. Um, so that's
It's
why
everybody's gonna understand.
this one kind of like fell flat on that end. But overall, I think it was an average anime. I would probably give it a rating of 4 out of 10.
That's
Um,
not average at all. That's pretty shit.
I mean, hey, it's like one below average, right? So
I guess.
I'd bump it up around there. But yeah, it was not my favorite. I wasn't not like I wasn't dreading finishing it, like just watching 3 episodes. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I don't see myself bringing this back up again. But that was okay. So that's kind of how I felt about that show. But again, I was just the appetizer, baby. We got
Right.
we
I
got
really
something
don't.
else.
Heck, I don't care about your opinion. I know you don't like good
Oh.
shit. All right, Renee. Let me hear it. I'm ready to burn this bridge.
Oh.
I'm ready to burn this
Okay.
bridge.
So
Okay.
what do you think about my most favorite anime of all time?
Okay. Well, I question why this is your like favorite anime.
I don't know myself. I just really enjoy it.
Okay. So for this being like my like second slice of life anime, I mean, I kind of had to compare it in a way. Like I watched Horimiya and I really enjoyed it and I loved it. And I have this other slice of life anime and it's very different, even though it's like
Completely.
the same genre but very different shows, right?
Right.
I can tell that this one was a little bit older. Like I'm not sure when it came out. Um
It's over 10 years old.
okay. So like I kind of like right off the bat when I, watching the first episode, I you know me, like I'm a little picky with my art styles. Like it looked a little sketchy, like just like the drawings of like the characters were a little like they weren't so fluid. Um so I was like, oh, I'm like, okay, this is like a okay looking anime. And then you have the main, I guess you can call her the main character. I know it focuses on a group of, girls and the main character, Yui, I think is her name.
It's Yui. She's the main girl.
Yeah. Um,
Rich is the drummer. Mio is the bassist. Mugi is the keyboard girl. And then later on another character gets introduced. I don't want to say it
yes.
just yet. I don't know if you got that to that point.
No, no, she wasn't introduced. So I watched the first 3 episodes, and I, I don't know if I'm ever gonna like. I don't think I'm gonna finish it. I had a really hard time finishing the first 3 episodes, just because like you guys know, like I'm so accustomed to like shonen and all these other, I this show was not what I'm into. So it was, as you had described it, Rafa, like literally it's a group of girls in school creating this light music band, this group, and like that was the extent of it. And
Yeah.
I I tried, I just couldn't. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did with like Horimiya. I wasn't like grabbed right away. It was like very cutesy,
Yeah.
the girl like and all the girls kept making like the weird like cutesy noises, when they're like eating or like they're thinking and like I don't like that. I'm like, why do you sound like that? Like, I don't know.
Because that's what us weebs enjoy.
I'm not for it. It was a little awkward at times. I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel at this point. I'm like, I don't like this.
Mm.
Um oh, Raph, I'm sorry.
It's
I
cool. It's
tried.
whatever. It's
I
whatever. I could just go
hear the
fuck
like
myself.
I hear the disappointment in your voice.
No,
But
no, it's fine.
I honestly tried. It had its moments where, like, I chuckled, but I was just like not into it. I'm sorry. I feel so bad saying that because I try to like have an open mind, but I can't move forward
It's
with the
fine.
show.
My best friend Hector
Oh,
here, I know he likes it, so it's
It's all
whatever.
right.
No,
yeah.
it's fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, I kind of had that feeling you weren't gonna like it
Oh.
anyways. From when I suggested it from last week. I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see like because I want to see what kind of slice of life do you enjoy. So it's a
Mhm.
good. This kind of gives me more of an idea of where you're gonna land. You
Yeah,
know.
and then like this, so it was kind of nice to still watch something like this and watch something like Horimiya just because like I thought like slice of life it was one like it's just one thing all the time, but like I'm learning that there's still like these smaller categories within slice of life. Like this,
Right.
like I said, this anime was very different from the last show. So that's cool that there's different ones in this big genre.
Right. So, yeah. So Renee, you're dead to me, but I'm glad
Oh my
that we have
god.
more of an idea of what you like in slice of life.
I'm sorry. I feel really bad.
It's no, it's fine. Yeah, it's very K-On! I love K-On!, but I can see why people don't like it, or and it's not for everybody, because literally me saying what I said, it's just girls hanging out playing music in their club room. That's literally the show. Like that's literally I just recapped the whole show, so I can see why someone could not be behind it. Even myself, because it's weird because I myself tend to gravitate more towards anime that has a story and it kind of has a point to it, and actually has a beginning, middle, and end for the most part. And one of my favorite shows doesn't really have that, so it's even in a weird spot for me, even though I love it and I will die on that hill and love this anime to the end. The main plot of this show, because you're saying you don't even think you're gonna finish it, and heck, I'm pretty sure
Mm.
you ended up dropping it yourself, is these four girls, the first four you get introduced in these
Mhm.
3 episodes, they eventually end up graduating, and they pretty much leave high school. That's how the show ends, and they leave the light music club to the next characters that you get introduced later on in the show.
Okay. So they don't
So
even like make a so like do they I know like a dream of theirs was like to, perform on like stage. Like do they
no,
even
they
get to do
perform,
Oh, okay.
stuff like that. Like the movie itself, they actually they travel to the United. No, is it the United Kingdom or United States? I don't remember the exact. I can't remember the country. I think it's the United States. No, the United Kingdom. They go to the United Kingdom and they perform in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
So
Good
like
for
they,
them.
yeah. So like they, yeah. So they actually get on stage and perform stuff like that. But it's just like the way that I kind of took it's kind of like it's just kind of friends play music throughout high school, and then eventually they kind of leave that behind because they're moving on to college or work or
Mhm.
whatever the next step is. So it's kind of like that. That's the way I took it. It's kind of just like a high school memory type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even want to say the rating just because of just the way you responded to my
No,
response.
say
But
it, say it.
no,
No,
I
say
gave
it.
it a low. I mean, I gave it a below average. Like I gave it like a 3.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't even
What a
like the music.
disappointment, man. Why
I
you
didn't like
didn't?
the music. Okay, so
What?
I like what? Like the intro?
Like the
Like what?
intro, the ending. You
No.
didn't like it. Like
No.
the cool thing about I'm gonna explain it to you, even though it's not gonna change your opinion at all, but I just want to say it anyways. The intro, the way that they have it like shot or filmed, or the way it looks, it's like if they try to make their own music video type of thing. Like that's kind of like the vibe, kind of homemade style looking. That's what the
Okay.
intro tried to make it look, and then the endings. This is for the whole show. Like every intro, every ending follows this like what I'm about to say or what I'm saying right now. In the ending they try to kind of like match, like almost like if it was on like a professional music video.
Okay.
So it's a really cool thing to see. But I can go fuck myself. It's all right.
Oh my god.
I'm just
I
joking,
tried.
Renee.
I
I'm just
really
joking.
tried.
I'm just joking,
Like
Renee.
I mean, like I said, like even though this anime wasn't for me, like it still like had its moments, like I didn't hate every single minute of it.
Mhm.
I just found it really hard at the end of each episode to like want to continue it
Just,
because not much was like happening.
right.
So yes, and Yui, I'm sorry, like the main character Yui, she just got on my nerves. She just got on my nerves. Like she was just so like she's not stupid, but like she just came off as that at times, and I was just like a what's the
Ditz.
yes.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, girl, like get it together. Like, come on.
That's just the way the show is. Character development's not a big thing in the show.
Yeah.
You just see them hanging out for 2 seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
2 seasons in a movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it for Rafa's recommendations. If you guys agree or disagree, tell us in the description down below. We would love to hear what you guys think of K-On! And of course of the anime that was recommended to me, which I already forgot the name of it. That's how quickly it's left my mind.
Also, thanks Hector for not backing me up on K-On! That's pretty cool of you.
I told you it was all right. It's not my favorite.
No, it was not. I don't remember. That's not. I don't remember the conversation we had when we first had.
It was a solid 6 out of 10.
You're such a liar.
I dropped it completely.
Whatever,
I dropped
Hector,
it
whatever,
completely.
bro.
What does that tell you?
I know you dropped it completely, but when we originally had the conversation, you were like, "Oh man, I had so much fun watching it."
You want to know why? You want to know why, Rafa?
What?
Because all the other slice of lives you gave me were dog water.
Liar.
Out
You're
of
lying.
all the slice of lives you gave me, K-On! Was the best of the dog water.
Yeah, because K-On!
It was like fresh. It was like what you gave me was dirty, like bits of pieces of the dog's food from their fur and their mouths were stuck in the water. K-On! Was like
that's disgusting.
That's nasty, and you're lying, and I know you're lying. But it's okay.
You gave me.
It's okay.
And then you gave me K-On!, which is a fresh bowl of water for your dog.
It's okay.
That's what K-On! Was for you. It was still dog water.
You're lying. It's okay. You're lying, and I know you're lying. But let's move on.
Horimiya was a better slice of life than K-On! Anyways, moving on.
It's different genres, but whatever.
Is it?
It's still slice of life.
It's slice of life, but Horimiya is like it's straight up a romance anime. It's nowhere near the there's more character development in one episode of Horimiya than the whole season the whole show of K-On! There's more story in episode 1 of Horimiya than
this is so funny to hear.
Like I know what K-On! Is. I still love it. It's still one of my favorite anime at the end of the day.
Rafa, we're not.
But I'm not sitting here like, yo, K-On! Needs a award for storytelling.
Definitely not that. Definitely not that. Anyways, it is time for the new recommendations being sent to both Rafa and I. It is time for Renee to recommend anime to us, Rafa.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, as we know, I have not watched nearly as much anime as you guys. I'm still fairly new on this anime journey. But I wanted to recommend both you guys a show that I really enjoyed. Season 1 had came out a couple of years ago on Netflix, and season 2 just came out, I believe, at the end of March. I have not watched season 2 yet, but I was a big fan of season 1, and this show is called Be the Beginning. I think I brought it up to you guys before. You guys haven't watched it, right? I don't think.
No.
Actually,
I know. I've heard of it, but I have not watched it.
Okay. So yes, so it's a Netflix original, I believe. I should double check that. But it is a psychological thriller, and like science fiction. And like just to like briefly like just give you a little, background. So in a world powered by like advanced technology, crime and action sweep through the nation of Cremona. And then chief among the major players is Killer B, who is a vigilante serial killer who has thrown the city into chaos. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, like as I said, I really like it. I like the whole mystery, the murder mystery aspect of this show. You are essentially following like this crime investigation group, tracking down this serial killer. Um, really graphic, and yeah, like as I said, I really enjoyed it. I'm rewatching it as well, just because it's been a couple of years. And then yeah, season 2 is something to look forward to for me. So yeah, that's what I'm
Ooh.
recommending. I know we
I
All
talked
right.
to, yeah, I know we talked about this. Like I know I like shonen, but I'm also starting to notice that I like the psychological thriller anime as well, and I think this one's a really good one. Um, but yeah, I'm curious to know if you guys like it.
I heard vigilante serial killer, and I was already like interested. So okay, I can't wait to watch this. This is really cool. I have seen the art style or the cover for it on Netflix before, but I've never clicked it. So
hmm
very interested to see what the show's about.
Yeah, I would say like this is even though the first season came out a couple years ago, like it's still one of the newer animes that I've gotten into. And I think it still looks great. I really like the art style of this show. But yeah, would love to hear your opinions when we get there. But yeah, I think it'll be a good one for you guys.
Ooh. And if you guys have heard of this anime, drop some comments down below. Tell us why it's such a good recommendation.
I'm gonna put
Mm,
my I don't want to
mm.
say hatred, but my hurt emotions to the side and be the bigger man here and judge this anime accordingly.
Wait, what do you mean you're gonna be the bigger man? What does that mean?
For real.
What? Why?
For
I don't know.
What are you trying like what are you trying to say? I
Well,
watched
anyways, let's move on,
K-On!
guys.
I watched it. I watched the first 3 episodes. Rafa, did I want to continue after episode 1? No, but I did for you.
I'm gonna watch the 3 episodes. I didn't say I was gonna stop.
I'm just
Or
saying. I gave it a shot, you know. Least
you
you can
know,
do is, give
I'm
this
gonna do it.
show and
I'm
Castlevania a chance.
do you want to talk about that? Because we did you watch the first episode of JoJo? Like I asked you
I
to.
know. Oh, I have not.
Mm.
As I said, because I'm watching this podcast,
Wait,
there's so much more I have to watch. What? What
I was
happened?
about to say, don't let him be mean. Did he watch Castlevania episode 1?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
I
shit.
did.
Never
Oh,
mind. Never
I
mind.
did see. I did see the first
sorry.
episode.
I will watch JoJo. I just, as I
Okay.
said, I'm not accustomed to watching so much anime at one time. Like literally, my head was about to explode. I was like, I
I get
love
that.
this, but there's so much going on. So
I'm just goofing. I'm just overreacting. Honestly,
did did you want to talk about, or do you want to wait till
Um,
I?
no, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. Because I want to give a little more context on JoJo for you too.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I saw the first episode because that's all we agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. I actually liked it a lot. It's really cool.
Hey.
I like. So the thing is, the reason why I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch. I don't know if I'm gonna like Castlevania is because I saw that Blood is Sue's Netflix anime, and the animation they had was really choppy. It wasn't fluid. Like it
Oh.
had that DC animated uh like show look to it. Like it was very choppy. Um, but then I started watching this, and the animation, it's so fluid. It looks so
Mm-hmm.
nice. It
Oh
looks
yes.
really nice. I'm like, damn, wow, I didn't expect this. And I really like. I'm gonna talk about episode 1 and everything that happened in it.
Please.
I really like the story of Dracula and how he got betrayed by humans, and well,
Mm-hmm.
not really betrayed, but the
Oh no,
humans.
yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the humans didn't know. They're a bunch of fucking ignorant jackasses who, you know, being stupid and not knowing what science is, killed someone. They just so happened to be Dracula's wife, right? So, Dracula's like, bro. So okay, so this is girl. I forgot her name, but she wants to be a doctor, and she's like, hey yo, Dracula, show me, teach me the science and shit, so I can be a real good doctor. And this is back in the day, and Dracula's like, I bet you seem like cool. Let's hang out. Right? So then time passes on, and then main girl, she's getting burned at the stake because the witch hunts and shit like that, and the town people think she's a witch because she's
practicing science and
science, right? Because they're
medicine, yeah.
in medicine, and they're ignorant and they don't know any better, and they're just following what the church says. Which I have the feeling that the church knows that it's like actual science, but they want to keep the people down, keep them ignorant and stupid, so they kind of boss them around. That's the feeling I'm getting from this, you know. Um, so the main priest dude's like, yeah, she's a witch. We can't have that shit around here. So they're literally burning her alive. And before all this happened, the main girl was telling Jack like, hey bro, like go travel the land, just explore, like meet people and humans. Like I know you don't like humans like that, but like we're not all bad. There's some ones that are pretty cool. And then so he does that. He goes out and he travels the world like a human, walking and shit, not flying, using his powers. And then he gets back, and then the first thing he finds out is that his wife is literally getting burned by by said humans, right? So then I just love that scene when he shows up, right? Like she's dead, like she straight dies, like she gets burned to a crisp. And he shows up and he's like, y'all motherfuckers did not just do this shit to me right here. The shit that I come home to. So then he tells him, you sons of bitches have 1 year to pick everything up and get the fuck out of this country. If not, I'm gonna kill all of you, every single one of you guys, right? And he showed up. It's not like he just like showed up like out of nowhere, like walking down the street. Like he was in the flame. Like he looked like a fucking monster, right? Like a giant demon. Like they were saying, like, oh my god, it's Satan. Like you can, yeah.
He did look like Satan.
He looked like Satan, right? Like he formed, his face formed out of the fires and the flames and shit like that, right? So. Also, side story. If I was one of those people living in that town and I saw this face creature thing from the fire telling me I have 1 year to leave the town, I'll be gone the same night. I ain't playing around. I'm not risking that shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who the church is. Like, bro, this giant fire creature told me to leave. I'm out. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So 1 year passes, right? Nobody listened to Dracula apparently because everybody's still hanging out and living there, just doing their thing, at the town. And they're I don't know if they're celebrating them burning her at the stake or something. They're having like a ceremony or some shit like that. Like the archbishop of the church was there. This old ass dude who needs to cut his nails and get a haircut. He was there, and and he's like, oh, he was giving some speech for like, oh, witches be out here, but we don't let them fuck with us because we have the church and we're the best because we're the church. And as he was saying that speech, it started to rain blood, and then like little like deformed bat things start falling out of the sky, and then Dracula came out of the sky, and he's all like,
started killing.
And yeah, and he's like, hey y'all, your time is up. 1 year passed by. You're still here. Now y'all dead. So then, like, he summoned like bad creatures, and they're fucking gutting people. People's heads are getting like. It was super gory. It was like I didn't expect it to be that gory. It was like level like Afro Samurai level gory. Like even beyond that, like. It was crazy gore. I was like, yo, this is awesome. This is intense right here. And then it ends with Dracula does that. He goes on the killing spree, kills the whole town, and then he tells his bad creature dudes like, hey, keep killing people because fuck the human race because they killed my one and only love. So there's no reason for me to keep the human race around. Let's just kill them because they killed my wife. And then it cuts to the main guy. I forgot his name.
Trevor Belmont,
and he's at like a
love
pub.
him.
He's just chilling, drinking, and then you hear the conversation of these two idiots talking about how the one dude beat this other dude with a shovel for like having sex with his goat or some shit. I don't know, some dumbass conversation. And I was like, this is stupid, whatever. but like they're just introducing Belmont, and that's where the episode ends.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the episode. I really love the story of Dracula. How he just wasn't bad. Like yes, he was bad because at a certain point, because you see all the dead bodies on stakes. Like he used to kill humans, but like he's kind of done with that. He's kind of just doing his own thing, right? It's not until he gets provoked again by humans where he's like, "All right, I
Right.
left y'all alone, but y'all can't leave me alone. So now you guys gotta pay." I like that. I like that he got pushed to the point where now he has to answer. Now he has to do something about it. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. He's a tragic character. I love that because you normally don't get that with stories. It's most of the time it's like, hey, they're just a bad guy, and they're just bad guys because they're the bad guy. It's he has a reason why he's doing what he's doing, and I love that about it. I could kind of relate to the guy. Like, bro, they took the one thing he cared about
Mm-hmm.
because they're ignorant and they don't know any better because they're fucking idiots. So it's like, in his eyes, it's kind of like, fuck y'all. Why should I even try to reason with you people? You guys didn't try to reason with me or my wife.
Yeah.
So why should I show you mercy? So it's great. I'm really enjoying it. I
I'm
really
glad.
enjoyed it.
I'm really happy you watched the first episode. And sorry I didn't get a chance to watch JoJo, but I will. But I'm happy that it was a positive experience for you
No, it was
because
really good.
that was only episode 1, and if
Yeah.
you liked what you saw, like you liked I mean the how gory it gets, how dark it gets, the characters, like yeah, Trevor Belmont, he is one of the main characters. You are, Dracula as well, and then there are other main characters that get introduced into the story who are just as amazing as them. Um it gets really good. The story gets really, really, really good.
Yeah, and
So,
I can kind of see where it's gonna go, right? Because it's Dracula getting his revenge on the human race, but
mhm.
then Belmont and the good guys are gonna be like, "Hey man, you can't just go around killing everybody." So there's conflict there.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it's gonna be good. I can tell it's gonna be a really good story. So I can't wait to. I mean, I'm gonna keep watching it. I don't know if I'm gonna marathon
Yay.
it, but I am definitely gonna keep watching it. Um, I'm just gonna explain a little bit. I just want to talk about JoJo a little.
Are you going
So
to explain it better?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. So what JoJo is the first season definitely it deals with like vampires in a weird way. It's like they're kind of like a weird take on vampires.
I didn't even know there were vampires in JoJo.
Yeah, it's the thing is like so yeah, like the first season it deals with vampires because there's well, as you find out there's a mask, there's a stone mask that you can put on, and that gives you powers and shit, and that what kind of makes you into a vampire, you know. And just kind of heads up on that. Um, and then like season two, it deals with like more. It deals kind of like with Aztec warriors from like the past. Like it kind of
Ooh.
jumps. Yeah. So like the way that it's set up is that like a lot of these like a lot of things that a lot of things that happen kind of have a weird connection. They all connect, by the way. I know I already said this beforehand, but they all connect. It all follows the Joestar bloodline, right? So it's like the main guy, Jonathan Joestar from the first season, and then it's his grandson the next season, and then it's his son the next season, and so on and so forth, right? So you just see the continuation of the storyline of this family, of this bloodline throughout centuries, in a sense, right? And as it goes on, the crazier it gets and the crazier the powers get. Especially in season 3 where this thing called stands get introduced, where it's kind of like it's like your willpower uh incarnate, I guess. Like your
Mhm.
it's called stand. It's kind of like a ghost that only other stand users can see, and you use it to fight each other. So like there's ones that punch really hard. There's ones that can like shoot beams and lasers at you. And there's some that can like warp time. Like the powers get crazier as it goes on, right? So when the thing that I wanted to correct myself is that like I said that like it really takes off in season 3, because in season 3 is where those powers get introduced. So in season 3, it really it really starts to take off. Like it gets really crazy, really really wacky, and season 3. but that doesn't take away from season 1 and season 2. Because season 1, season 2 is also fun. It's also the scenes are fun to watch. Like it also has its own brand of wackiness towards it, but it's not at the JoJo level that people know it for until season 3. That's what I was trying to say the last
Okay.
episode. So, um, I don't know. I don't know if you saw anything. I don't know if you ever saw anything about JoJo in the past,
No, just
other than they're
just
really swole.
that's all. Yeah, I only recognized like the thumbnail for the show. But do you still think? I mean, I understand it picks up in season 3, but do you still think a good starting point is episode 1, season 1? Like,
Um, I I want to say yes
okay,
because it all connects.
okay,
Because things that happen in season 1 connect to season 3,
okay. I'm gonna do it
even
then.
even though they're like centuries apart from each other time wise in the show. Because it starts like in the 1800s in England, and then season 3, I think they're like in the 80s, like the 1980s or some shit like that, and they're traveling to Egypt. So
Okay,
like yeah, so a lot happens between season 1, season 3, and it's all connected. So yeah, and like I said, in season 1 you get introduced to the main bad guy of the whole show.
okay.
And you get his origin story and all that other stuff. So I hope you enjoy it. And the reason why I was like saying like, oh man, I don't know about season 1 or season 2 is because I had trouble getting into JoJo watching season 1.
Okay.
But but once I got past season 1, and I enjoyed season 1. There's nothing wrong with seson 1,
But you
But
just
like
enjoy the later. It just
the
got better.
it got better as it went
Yeah.
on because
Mhm.
because I before I started watching JoJo from season 1, I knew the wacky crazy shit that goes on and the other seasons because always see clips here and there and stuff like that, like on YouTube, right? So I'm like, oh man, JoJo looks crazy. Look all this crazy stuff that I saw on YouTube, and I'm expecting that season 1, and season 1's not like that. Season 1's more, it's more pulled back. It's more tamed compared to
Right.
the newer seasons. So that's why I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, But it's still a fun show, and it's wacky, it's crazy, like it's very creative. The stuff they pull in this show, like it's stuff like you don't even think like how's that even work, but it somehow works, and it's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know. It's not for everybody. I mean, Hector doesn't like JoJo, but Hector has disappointed me over and over again. So
Jesus, it's like that, huh?
it is like that. But hopefully you like. I don't know. Like See, the thing is, like JoJo has a large fan base, but I can also see why people might not get into it. You know.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
don't know.
I will watch the first episode. I apologize that I could not do that for
It's
this
fine.
one,
It's
but
fine.
I will do it. I appreciate you watching the first episode of Castlevania. That made me really happy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rocco.
I know I'm talking a lot of shit, but I'm just talking shit at the end of the day.
It's just
Please
something
don't take
Rafa
it
does.
seriously. Yeah,
I
yeah,
know. We're still friends, right? Yeah.
yeah.
It's a little bit less because you don't like Keon,
Uh,
but
hey, man.
It's okay. I'll just watch K-On! Again, and I'll just pretend that you watched it and you liked it.
Sure, if that's gonna make you be able to sleep at night, go for it.
Nice.
But that being said, we are finally at our second biggest topic. I think one that we were all three equally excited to talk about. If you have not watched this movie, and by this movie I am referring to Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Mugen Train, the film, we'll catch you on the next episode because we are going super deep into spoiler territory. We're quite literally going to be discussing the entire movie. So, thanks for watching. If we part ways here, I hope you take your bento with you, and we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully, it's nice and warm still on the train, on the car ride, or however you want to take the bento. But if you're gonna stick around for the discussion of Demon Slayer the movie, then wow, what did you guys think? What a incredible piece of filmography. I think that's like right. That's a good terminology for it.
Yeah.
Incredible piece of filmography. It has already broken charts. It has already made bank for those who created it, and Japan, quite literally, it is the highest grossing movie from Japan, from that region. So, holy smokes, who wants to start? We have a lot to discuss.
I'm gonna start. So I really enjoyed this movie a lot. And the main point why I really enjoyed this movie is because it's continuing the actual story of Demon Slayer. Hector, I know I've told you this multiple times on this podcast. I'm not a big fan of anime movies that don't continue the story. Naruto's done it a lot. The My Hero movies kind of do that in the same way, where that's like a side story, or it doesn't really connect, or it's not really considered canon, whatever, right? It's a straight continuation from where season one left off. And season two is going to pick up right. I'm assuming right after this, right? So I like that. I like that a lot. It feels like I'm not just. Which, don't get me wrong, it's cool to see a side story, a movie of just some side adventures or whatever of our favorite anime characters doing what they're doing. But it has more of an impact. It has more value. You feel more. You're more into it when you know that this is a continuation of the actual story itself. Like that, I was like, man, I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. What's going to happen next to these guys for these guys. Because Demon Slayer it's a really awesome anime. Um, I enjoyed everything about it. There's nothing. I don't think there's the only one thing I didn't really like that much was when the demon guy, I don't know his name, he fused with the train, and then it was kind of like that CG look for the rest
Like
of the movie,
the blob.
the blob thing. I understand why they made it on like computer generated, because it's gonna take forever to animate all that blob. Like if they actually like drew it out like 2D, that's like insane amount of work, especially with all the crazy movements and everything that the blob was doing. So I get that. So I don't take like big points out of it. I just it was a little bit jarring to see like the CG against the hand drawn, characters or whatever. But other than that, man, everything about it, man, I really, really enjoyed it. Like the characters, they were on point. The dream sequences were hilarious, or with the side characters, but like you got more insight on I don't remember none of their names, but the
Like
main guy,
Zenitsu.
Inosuke, Zenitsu, yeah,
Tanjiro.
Tanjiro.
Tanjiro, like hit like a really, like, man, when he went into his dream and he was hanging out with his family again, I was just like, oh man, that hurt me to the core. I was
Yeah.
like just being able to do something like that again, like just being able to like forget your worries, your past, everything, just being able to spend time with the ones you love, like once again, it's like, oh man, that
Yeah.
that hit me to the core. I
I
felt that so crazy.
I felt so bad for him. He was even crying. The minute he saw his siblings, he like ran to them and hugged them and just started crying. I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah, because
I
he's
feel this.
oh, it was so
That
good. And then
pulled at my
like,
heartstrings. That was such an
Hmm.
yeah,
intense scene.
and then also like also like the he kind of stole the show the times he was on screen as the I don't remember his name either, because I'm bad with names, but the fire guy, whatever his name is,
Rengoku. How you
Yeah,
say it?
Renko,
Rengoku.
whatever,
Rengoku.
fire guy. He was
Love
awesome
him.
from the second he's on screen when he's eating. He's like,
Uh,
delicious, delicious,
Dude,
delicious.
he had me rolling because he only has like one facial expression all the time. So I was dying in that scene when he was like, yeah, eating delicious, delicious, like not
Yeah,
breaking his expression. I'm like, this is hilarious.
I
He's so cool.
I love his character. I love just how determined and like the willpower that he has willing to keep going, willing to keep fighting, even when you find out through his dream or whatever. Right? It was a dream he was having where his dad was in there or
Yeah.
whatever. Where his dad's kind of like, hey man, like I don't give a fuck that you're like the top ranked demon
Mhm.
slayer or whatever. Like you just it's there's no point to it, whatever. Like hearing something like that from your a parent, that's soul crushing, especially
Yeah.
someone who did the same thing as you did, because his dad was a high ranking demon slayer just like him, and for him to tell him like, yeah, this doesn't matter, I don't give a fuck, like that hits hard. And for him to be able to keep going and smile and still be there for his younger brothers, like, man,
Mhm.
this guy is awesome. Like, this guy he's a trooper. I loved everything about him. It's funny because like they all fell in love with him, right? Like they all want him to be his big brother, or they want him to be their big brother. Like I feel like the same thing. The rest of the cast or whatever, the rest of the characters were giving off the same emotions that we were giving. Like, man, look at this guy, he's so cool. I want him to be my big brother, type of thing. Like that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think I really, really enjoyed the movie. I think it was probably one of my favorite anime movies I've ever watched. However, I did have some complaints with it, um, and it was kind of nitpicky, but at the same time, probably my two biggest issues was 100% the CGI train, as you both mentioned. Like that was just a really gross looking, just kind of
Yeah. It
part
wasn't
of the.
pretty.
It
It was a
wasn't
little
pretty.
disturbing.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I fully agree. I've never been a fan of any tentacles stuff like that, so I'm good, especially in CGI, especially in CGI. But I mean, even then, like, for those of you that may or may not know, I have read and completed the manga for Demon Slayer, so I know stuff that they don't know, as in like Renee and Rafa, and maybe some of you that do love the show and have watched it but haven't gone into it like that. Um, so I had really high expectations for this because within the manga, this is a huge arc. Obviously, there's some huge implications that kind of come out of it. I love that they did show that Tanjiro, even though he did just kind of get a step up, he learned how to use concentrated breathing continuously. He found out that he was still inadequate, that he wasn't up to snuff with the Hashiras and all that stuff, and how he just wasn't good enough just yet to compete against the higher echelon of demons. Um, and I just love how they just kept pounding it into his head. It's like, hey, you are not strong enough. You need to get stronger. You,
Mhm.
Inosuke, you and Zenitsu, you and everybody need to get stronger if you want to save Nezuko. Um, by far, some of my absolute favorite scenes were scenes with Rengoku, and especially the final scene when he was fighting the upper third, I think, third or second. No, I think he was third. Upper
Third.
third,
The
yeah,
It
third.
was the third
Yeah.
one.
upper third
Suki.
demon. So,
Mhm.
um, and then of course the dream with Tanjiro. One of my other scenes that really hit me really hard and kind of got me emotional was when the guy was tied up to Tanjiro and he was in his dream and he was trying to find the way to his core, and like the little sprites that kind of came out of his beautiful sky and water underneath,
Mhm.
like that was just such an
Mhm.
impactful scene. And just seeing how he was just crying at the thought of having to kill Tanjiro because he's like, I can't. Like, why would you bring me to this core? And he realizes, oh, it's because that's what I wanted. You're just so pure and just so beautiful that you're willing to lead me to what I want. That even if it's gonna hurt you. And I just loved Tanjiro as a character in this movie was absolutely incredible. Um, I felt like the pacing was a little rushed for certain scenes. I feel like they could have maybe developed a little bit more on the story, on kind of the demon's backstory. One thing I kind of missed that they do in the anime seasons was they kind of give a backstory to the demon, and they kind of make you kind of feel some emotion for them and why they're in the situation they are, how they became a demon. But they didn't do that at all with this lower first demon. They just kind of made it seem like he was like this evil bad guy and all this other stuff, and they didn't really explain it. I don't remember if they explained his backstory in the manga, but I felt like they kind of omitted a lot of stuff, just to fit as much as they could into a 2-hour movie, which is already pretty long.
Right.
And that omitting certain scenes and certain things is also what I kind of make it as a downfall for the movie too, is because towards the end we see that Rengoku speaks to Tanjiro and says, I want you to speak to my father, and I want you to tell this to my brother, and then we see him see his mother at the end, which also that made me tear up so hard. And just thinking about it now makes me tear up too, because it's like he's like, Mom, did I do it? But did I make you proud? And it was just like, oh my god, like that hit me like a truck. And I remember just being in the theater, I was like, dude, you can't cry. You're around a bunch of people. Stop. But yeah, like the show or the movie in general was just really, really great. But I feel like them kind of taking out certain scenes or certain things that happen in the manga kind of hurt it a little bit. For me as a viewer, and this is just me strictly speaking as somebody who's read the manga and knows kind of what's up to, like, what's coming. I could tell that they really set an open ending at the end of the movie for what's to come in season 2. But I felt like that could have been wrapped up so much better. I did not like the fact that we just end off with Tanjiro crying and then we're like, oh, what's gonna happen next? It's like I would have liked to go see him tell everything Rengoku told him to tell his father and his brother. I would have loved to see that interaction with his father and his brother. Granted, I know that probably would have added maybe, I don't know, 10 to 15 to maybe 20 minutes more to the movie, which is, again, I already said it's a pretty long for almost a 2-hour movie, but like I feel like that going to meet his parents, going to meet Rengoku's dad, going to meet his brother would have been a far better wrap up to the movie than just open ending, leaving Tanjiro just crying on the floor. And that's that. Like, we don't see the aftermath of what happened. We just see they survive, they know they need to train, and that's that. And so to me, that's why the movie could have been perfect, but the ending and the CGI and the omission of like some stuff is just kind of what deterred me from thinking this is like this dummy solid movie.
Well, the thing, for me is, I feel like it didn't really need that ending. You're saying the epilogue with Tanjiro meeting the dad and the brother, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna that's where
it's 100% gonna happen in the season 2.
Gonna go,
Mhm.
right?
It's 100% gonna happen.
Right, so then I feel like that's not. I don't know. I feel like that's not that big of a deal because it's going to happen, and it could be that in season 2, we're gonna get more insight. We're gonna get more in an actual interaction between Tanjiro and the dad and brother, instead of just getting 15 minutes of them talking at the end of the movie. So I feel like I don't have that a problem against that. My question for you is that you said that there's certain things were taken out, to be able to fit in the movie. The things that were taken out, were they like really big things, or like things like super necessary for the story?
I would say maybe one or two things that I don't necessarily want to spoil, because I don't know if they're going to talk about it in this, in the
Later
upcoming
on.
season.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, after season 2, I might bring it up again. I might not. Who knows? But I feel like one or two things was impactful for the story that
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they will just kind of bring it up in season 2. So that's why I don't want to bring it up. But for the most part, there's some filler stuff that, and I don't want to say filler. People usually have like a bad connotation with that. But it's just like stuff that could have maybe made the movie a little bit better, or maybe made it make a little bit more sense. I feel like there were certain scenes with Tanjiro and, well, for example, Tanjiro and the guy that was tied to him. They had a
Mhm.
certain interaction where he said more. You know how in the movie he was just kind of standing around and just watching him and his family. Um, in the manga, there were scenes where he was actually talking about what he was seeing while he was watching Tanjiro with his family, and he started to feel depressed and sad and angry at himself for even
Oh.
being in the position to ruin somebody else's life when they're that pure. So they would have
Mhm.
made that scene where he's like crying afterwards, and that scene where he's in his, finding that core more impactful, more meaningful than just, wow, it was so pretty, you're so pure, I feel sorry for doing this, and that's it. Like, granted, it's still hit, but it could have hit so much harder if we saw that little bit more of him saying, like, why am I doing this to someone like him? Because it's like, of course they want their happiness, but you know, like you're seeing somebody who has gone through tragedy as well. Or granted, he you know he's sick and he's dying, but I would kind of say Tanjiro maybe had a greater loss than he did. So he's like kind of thinking like, wow, like I'm being this piece of shit and doing what I'm doing, but this guy has suffered more. Like it's like, should I really be in this position? And then he starts to kind of question all that. So it's like there are little things that could have made the story a little bit better. Granted, I mean, to some that's not really important. To some that's like, oh, that maybe would have made that scene a little bit better. But that's just, I guess, kind of to each their own. But there are for sure two things that happened in the manga that I feel like could have made the story make way more sense and also make it more impactful. But again, I'm hoping that they bring it up in season 2.
The thing about the demon, they clearly were meant. They were trying to make him seem like a bad guy. Like
Yeah.
they not once did I feel bad for him.
The dream guy?
The dream guy, yeah, because just the way he was talking, the way he was carrying himself, the way that he would, um, uh, in a sense, use the humans, not letting them go to sleep. So they're sleep deprived, so they have to do what he says to get things done. Also, like the one point, yeah, like in the first season, and I'm pretty sure they do it in the manga too. They do give us that backstory of demons, some of these demons, and kind of see how they ended up in the situation they ended up in. To me, the dream demon guy, he just seemed like an asshole. Because I mean, he had a line where he said that like I like seeing people have a nightmare right before they die just to see how their facial expression is. Like he just seemed malicious off the cuff. So I don't give a fuck what's his backstory is. He's an asshole and he deserves to die. So I'm glad that he could go fuck. I'm glad he's dead and he can go fuck himself. I don't care about his backstory. He's a dickhead. Um, but the thing that surprised me that I did not see coming at all was where the upper third demon shows up.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
I was at all. He shows up, and then you really get to see the flame guy show off his powers and fight and everything. And this is what really put things in context for me because um yeah, we're watching Tanjiro and them grow and become stronger and whatever, but like I don't know if it's just me, but I really didn't get that sense of how strong these demons are up to this point. You know, because Tanjiro, he wants to go against the Michael Jackson guy, the main bad guy, right? The main demon dude. He wants to go kill him like off the cuff, right? Like there's like that one time he ran into him in that crowd, right, in season 1 when he's like yelling at him like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you," whatever. I was like, man, just run up and punch him. I don't know, do something, right? He would be murdered immediately, right? Like now we know like now we know how strong these demons are because this upper third demon, right?
Mm-hmm.
He fucked up this guy, Renku or whatever his name is.
Rengoku?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Hector, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Renkuku or whatever? Wasn't he the number one?
No, he was not the number 1, but he was up there.
Oh.
He wasn't the. He
Oh,
was.
I thought he was
I thought
number
he was
one.
Yeah, I thought he was the number one.
The number 1 guy is, I think it's either the guy that's blind, or the guy with the
Well, like,
butterflies, like the guy
but
with
besides
the
the
Wasn't he the leader?
No,
Who's
there's
the leader?
there's no leader. Like there's no leader.
Oh,
It's
okay, never
all
mind. I thought
like
it was
these
a
are
leader.
just the elites of their group. That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
I thought he
Or
was. I thought he was number one.
I mean, regardless, he was still relatively strong.
He was.
He
He
was
was
one of the top.
insanely
Yeah.
strong. Like I. That's one thing I really enjoyed is just watching him show off his powers.
Mm-hmm.
Watching him just the way he obliterated those first two demons, just the ones that showed up, those random demons at the beginning. How he carried himself. Like he was such a cool character, and it sucks that he dies at the end of
Yeah.
this because he was such a cool guy. And I was like, damn, dude, he like I remember when we saw him in season 1 and just how he was and like man, just like you want to see more of him, and we finally get more of him, and he dies.
And that's that. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
like that.
it sucks, but it kind of put, like I said, it puts things in perspective. You know, like these guys want to take out the Michael Jackson demon guy and save Nezuko from being a demon and shit, but they're not ready. Just like how Hector was saying, they're not ready, and now they know that. Now they really know that they're not ready because not this guy's he's upper third, so he's not he's not the best of the best, but he's up there. And he the way he was handling himself to that fight was amazing. The only reason he almost lost was because the sun was coming out.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the fight, which is like the one thing they can't handle, right? So like, oh man, I was so mad. I wanted him to die so bad.
Like when
oh my god,
Rengoku literally, like, the sword is in the demon's neck, like it is there. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Like, yes, we know Rengoku's injured. He's probably not gonna make it at the end of this, but you know what? It's okay because he's gonna take out this demon. He's right there, and it didn't happen. And then the demon got away,
and
he
fucking
ended up dying.
away.
Like I was so upset. I was so upset, crying. I was crying.
Furious. Because this guy, I mean,
Ugh.
the demon guy, he had his whole like arm inside Rengoku or whatever.
Yes.
Like they were such in a way where like, bro, there's no way he's getting away from this, and he somehow manages a way to get out of that hold, and he takes off into the woods, and I'm just like, you son of a bitch, how did you get away? And for 1 second, I thought he was gonna turn around when Tanjiro was talking shit to him when he threw the sword at him.
Yeah, he called him a coward.
I was like, oh shit, he's gonna turn around, he's gonna fight in the sun. Let's go. No, he took off.
By the way, that interaction is gonna be important.
I was like, fuck you, man. Like, it works though. This is the one thing, super side note. This is the one thing they do a lot, like in wrestling, where they have the bad guy win, so you can hate the bad guy even more. So when he gets his comeuppance, it's that much. It's that much sweeter. So I cannot fucking win till this guy gets his comeuppance. And he gets fucking murdered.
I think if I remember correctly, we haven't seen all of the upper third's abilities.
Like, no, we haven't. His abilities.
Yeah, the upper third, he's even stronger, but he is stronger than what he even showed.
No, he was popping off, dude. Like that's
he was going nuts. But I'm saying like that wasn't even his full potential. Like that's how crazy.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like through his fight, he was the whole time through his fight. He was like, "Come on, bro, stop fighting. Come be a demon with me." Like he wasn't taking Rengoku seriously at all through that whole fight. He kept trying to persuade him to become a demon through the whole fight. Like, he was not taking him seriously
until the very, very end. Until
the very end, where he was running out of time. So the one thing he took seriously was Rengoku with the sun. If the sun wasn't a factor, he would have won that fight easily, which he did win that fight. Mm-hmm. So like I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. And one funny thing that Alex pointed out, which we all know, but the sword making guy is gonna beat the shit out of Tanjiro because Tanjiro lost his sword.
It's even funnier, trust me. You guys are gonna actually really enjoy it. I actually just stumbled upon it again in the manga because I was like trying to find where exactly I ended off at. So the movie ends off around chapter 90. Like 95, 96, and there's like around 200 plus chapters in total for the manga. So we're about the halfway point for the show itself. So that's really cool to know. But yeah, the way the sword guy interacts with Tanjiro is actually really hilarious.
I also really enjoyed the boar head guy. His dream was hilarious. Inosuke.
Oh my god, it made no sense. I was like, of course it doesn't make sense. Right. Of course it's so weird. Yeah.
Right, and then like the girl that was in the subconscious was being chased by him, like his subconscious. That was such a fun scene, and I also love he was actually not that annoying this time around. What's his name?
Nope, I thought he was super annoying.
I feel like his character, like he is growing as a character. Like he's not like, how he was introduced in the show. Like he was very like obnoxious, had he couldn't really control himself. He was all over the place. But I feel like the more he bonded with Tanjiro and like Zenitsu, like he's matured in a way. Like even that conversation he'd had with Tanjiro at the end when he's breaking down because Rengoku just died. He's like, "What are you doing? Like we can't just sit here and cry. Like we got to get better." Like it was just really surprising to hear that from Inosuke. Like that's something that comes from Tanjiro, but for him to be there for him in that
Right.
way, I was like, "Oh my god, like this character like they're all growing, you know?"
Yeah, and what's his name? The guy with the lightning guy.
Yeah, Zenitsu.
Zenitsu. Zenitsu.
Zenitsu. Yeah, he. I liked his dream was hilarious. He was just hanging out with
Nezuko.
Nezuko. That was a funny ass dream. And I also like how they still find a way for him to show off his powers, which I love. I love how that was like a thing where I mean we all know that he only could like really show off his powers when he's like asleep or he's passed out or
Mhm.
whatever. So of course, it's just so happy to be that he was asleep and he hears Nezuko in danger, so he acts up, he reacts to it. That was a really fun thing to see there. Um, the one thing I would have maybe liked more, I want to see more of what Nezuko could do with her powers. We saw a few glimpses here and there, especially in season one when she was fighting the spider dudes with Tenjiro, like with the whole
Her
like
demon
blood.
art. Mhm.
Yeah, like with the blood and catching on fire and stuff like that. Like that looked really cool. I wanted to see more of that, but this wasn't her story, right? Like, this she wasn't the main point here. It was really Tanjiro and Rengoku in his passing away at the end. I enjoyed the hell out of this all the way through.
Mhm.
I didn't have a single problem with it other than the CG blob thing when the guy fused with the train. But I mean, like I said, it's understandable they went with that route. I mean, like I said, animating, like actually hand drawn animating that will take too long. It just, you just gotta do what you gotta do. So CG slime monster thing, whatever, it's cool. Yeah, I just can't wait for the I just can't wait for the next season. It just got me more hyped. I just can't wait to see where
Mhm.
this goes. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I know me and Rafa kind of went in depth on it, but Renee, if you have anything you want to kind of dive in on the movie, go for it, like, for sure.
I mean, uh I was very emotional. I loved every aspect of this movie. I didn't feel like it was lacking in anything. I thought the story was a complete story. And yeah, I mean, I love the whole dynamic between Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu. Like, I just love how they are together. Like, they're hilarious. But they're also just like helping each other through all of this, and I just like just seeing them together. I also like the dynamic between Tanjiro and Inosuke, um, because they've been teamed together a couple of times going against these demons, and as I said already, like it's just nice to see how much they've grown. They definitely feel like more of a team than they did back then. So it was just nice to see that, especially when they were like taking down the dream guy. And then yeah, like I didn't really mind the CG. It was ugly, but like I feel like the show, like each episode they kind of had like a little bit of CG going on. So when like this movie came out and like you saw it with I wasn't like, oh, like what the heck is it? Didn't feel out of place for me. It was just ugly. Like
Right.
not the fact that it was CG, but just what it was ugly. But I don't know if that makes any sense, but I didn't
It
mind
does.
it. Like it didn't take any points off for me. Um it was just weird that they decided to make that blob whatever it was. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I got very emotional towards the end. I didn't know much about Rengoku, so I feel like this movie did a really good job of like talking about his past and like showing his abilities because I really didn't know how to feel about him because he was so like he just had this one expression. I was just like, I can't read this guy. Like I know nothing about him. I don't know his intentions. So seeing his backstory with how his parents, his dad, his mom, it was just really nice to see, and I feel like I did grow an attachment to him towards the end. And what kind of made me like, tear up a little bit more was when, he's slowly dying and he tells Tanjiro that like, hey, like I accept that your sister who's a demon, like I accept her as a demon slayer. Like I saw her on that train and she was fighting demons and she was helping the people. Like I respect that, and because of that, like I want you to know that I accept her. I'm like, oh my God, like here comes the waterworks. Like it was just it was just a nice thing to just hear from him, like, in his last in his last moment, he was letting Tanjiro know, like, how he felt about Nezuko. So yeah, I'm really excited about season 2 like you guys. As I said, this movie was really beautiful, and getting the opportunity to watch it on the big screen versus just, like, on your regular I think, like, it was just such a better experience.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So I think we've pretty much talked a lot about the movie, but we haven't exactly given it a score. So from looking at the Discord call, from top to bottom, Rafa, what is your final score of the movie? Or rather, out of 10.
Uh, 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay. Renee?
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna change my score. Originally, I gave it an 8, but I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
gonna give it a point
Nice.
5 because through conversating with y'all, and I did kind of talk to Alex before we started potting. Um, yeah, I feel like even though I had my little issues with it, just as overall as a movie, I think it was just super solid. So, yeah, I think 8.5, really close to 9 out of 10. It was just a good movie, and clearly all of us enjoyed it. Um, so yeah, I mean, of course, if you guys have watched the movie, let us know what you guys think. Give us a rating on what you thought it was, and do you agree with any of the topics we brought up about the movie? But guys, I think we finally come to an end.
Can I just mention one more part that we did not talk about
Oh, we missed something?
that
Yeah,
I
of
thought?
course, yeah.
So when Tanjiro is in his like dream state, or kind of, well, he's going against the dream guy, and the dream guy is constantly like trying to like put him into the dream state, and Tanjiro ends up having to like kill himself every time to like wake himself up from that dream state. Like I thought that was insane.
I can't believe we forgot about that. that's
No,
actually that's
that was
actually
super
huge.
cool.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean the way he kind of just realized that like he has to give himself like this jolt or shock to his like to his brain or to whatever it was that was preventing him from waking up. Like he's like, I have to do something so irrational, so insane that I get forced to wake up. And his immediate thought is, oh no, the fact that his dad,
No, his dad,
yeah, the
yeah.
fact that his
Mhm.
dad came out of nowhere. He's like, grab your sword, you need to cut something. And he immediately thought,
Mhm.
oh, I have to kill myself by cutting off my head because it's the most irrational thing I can think of. Originally, when I saw that scene, I thought he was going to cut off his hand. Because you know how the rope was tied to it, so I thought he was just going to cut off his hand, but then he went straight to his neck, and I was like, oh, wait, that's what you mean. And then he
Yeah.
just instantly woke up, and the fact that he had to keep doing it over and over again, and the dream demon was like, this kid must have some incredible willpower to be
Mhm.
able to do this time and time and time and time again. Like, there were so many times that he did it that it was, to any normal person, it would be just incredibly insane. I don't know if somebody could do it that many times, but he just kept doing it over. And then he told Inosuke to do it, but of course Inosuke had his own special thing to do instead. Um, Shout out the pig mask. But I mean,
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, that was super insane.
Yeah, I had to throw that. I'm like, "Wait, we did not touch on that," and that
I
was
can't
pretty
believe we forgot
insane.
about that. Oh, also, I'm glad you brought it up because now the gears are sort of turning in my head. Uh, the fact that he kept showing them dream after dream after dream, and then out of nowhere he's like, all right, well, dreams aren't working, let's give him a nightmare. And the way he responded after his family was like saying these incredibly mean and just
Mm-hmm.
terrible things to Tanjiro, and the way he just woke up and was instantly infuriated and said, "Never tarnish my family like that ever again." And that was
Yeah.
so insane and sick. And I remember watching that, especially when his littlest brother was
Yeah.
like, how come you didn't save us? How come you weren't around? I was like, damn, like that one hit hard. I was like, wow. And then his mother saying some terrible things, and his father throwing a cup at him and saying that it was
Mm-hmm.
useless. I was like, whoa. I was like, even that hurt me listening to all that. And the fact that he just instantly woke up and he's like, don't ever disrespect my family like
Woo!
that. Like they would never say anything like that to me. I was like, whoo, when I was like getting emotional just hearing those lines, and I was like, oh my god. And he like hit him super hard, and I think that's when he turned into the giant octopus squishy train CGI thing. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean he's yeah, that was just so insane. That especially that scene where he gotta like get angry, like angry. Um yeah, I don't know. There was just so many iconic scenes in that movie. It was just so good. I can't believe we forgot about the how he woke up.
Yeah. I want
Also,
to see it again.
I
I,
know,
I
me too.
definitely do.
Yeah. Granted, I don't know if I'm gonna go see it in theaters, but hopefully, I don't know about you guys, but did it feel like just one giant season in a movie, or did it actually feel like a movie?
No, it felt like a movie.
Mhm.
It did
I
not
don't
feel like a
know.
season to me. It felt like a movie. It just felt like a continuation of the story.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because like to me, it felt like I mean I knew it was a movie, but it felt like I was just watching all of a season, but a little bit longer. Because you know how like every season is like 20 minutes, or every episode is like 20 to 25 minutes. That's what you're watching. So it just felt like
Yeah.
a compact version of a season to me. But I mean, I still loved it. Of course, I gave it a 8.5 out of 10. But yeah, I just felt like it was like season two, like but like more intense and more they put more money into it because it's an actual movie. So like the
Yeah.
production value was like skyrocketed. But overall, I mean, yeah. Besides that, I think I thought that was really cool that Tanjiro threw his sword at upper third and like stabbed him in the back, and then you saw like his like flame, uh, like when he threw it, like something was special about that throw because it was like powered by the
Mm-hmm.
flame. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, I mean I don't know, just I can't wait to see him master the flame or whatever it is that stance.
Same.
So that's really cool, and I want to see more about his dad and his dancing, and see if he had any other forms that he could learn or anything like that. It's just man, I'm just super excited for season two. I mean, it's just it did its job. I'm really excited to see the next thing.
Right.
Same.
But I think that's good. I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to bring up or
No,
Mm.
man. I think we covered everything.
cool. All right, well, guys, thank you for joining us on this extra lengthy episode. We had quite a bit to talk about. We are nearing the 3 hour mark.
Oh
Very,
Wow.
wow.
very. I know, right? When I saw it, looked over, I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. So if you did stick around for all 3 hours, thank you so much. If you came back and forth, thank you still so much for tuning in. And I guess it's time to give out our final shout outs, guys. Do you have anything you want to shout out, to plug, or anything like that?
Nope.
I never really have any plugs for this part.
Oh my god. We have artist and gamer.
I guess.
You should always plug that. Always. And Rafa, you have the play in pod with Alex, John, and
Oh yeah,
Rafa
you
on
do,
Geek
Rafa.
Jar.
You
Shame on you.
No, Hector always takes care of
Yeah, but
that.
like you're
Oh,
like in there, so that should be like
but
your plug.
True.
I
Good
feel
point.
weird being my own plug. Like it just feels weird. I feel like I should be like plugging someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
Hector,
don't
plug us.
Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Let me clear my throat. Guys, definitely check out Artist and Gamer. It is an Etsy page where they create some incredible art pieces, and they have some cool coasters that are what is that game called? I forgot.
Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing themed. Trust, they're sick. They also have this really cool Pokemon cup that I got, but it's a cafecito cup. You just check them out, guys. They have some incredible things. They also have Kong versus Godzilla cups. Uh, just go check out their inventory. It's ever changing. I think. um, and of course, check out the Play and Pod with Alex, John, and Rafa at GeekJar3000. They have some cool stuff. Sometimes they have some really bad takes on certain things, and but you know
They
that's,
do, not me though.
that but you know that's the people you got to check out, and for sure all the links are going to be in the description down below.
Oh, sorry. I actually do have something else I want to plug. We also have the Does It Hold Up movie podcast. By the time this comes out, which will be tomorrow, I think Wednesday, which is the following day, the next episode's gonna come out of that. It's only gonna be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like everything but YouTube, pretty much. And we're gonna be reviewing Back to the Future. So our movie podcast. Check it out.
Well, there
We
you
talk
go.
about Back in the Future.
And last plug, check me out on twitch.tv/ultra_vman. I stream damn near every day, so catch me playing video games. And besides that, that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for listening. To those who stayed till the end of the pod, and for those that left early, well, hopefully you guys come back and check out the rest of this movie review and anything else you guys might have missed. So yeah, bye guys.
Mm.
See you.